Poindexter Lounge. You already know. You're watching Poindexter Lounge for the unity.
Why don't you set aside an hour or two? We'll have a few drinks and a cup of coffee. I don't drink.
Hi, you're watching Poindexter Lounge. I'm choking on chicken.
And now I'll make the point better. This joint's clever. In the lounge with Poindexter. So Poindexter Lounge, you know that we can get it in. And now I'm headed up like I'm Led Zeppelin.
Yo. Hey, 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 yo.
Hey, yo, what's up, nerd family? Welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge. My name is Enosh, a.k.a. Enosh Fett. And I love you all very, very much. I'm glad you're all here. Nicolas Cage is glad you're here in all of his super goodness and glory. And hey, welcome to the lounge tonight. And look, if this is your first time to the lounge, just know that the Poindexter Lounge is a place for nerds. It's a place where you and me and my crew can get together and talk about all the things that we love. Things like TV shows, movies, games, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books, superheroes, toys, and so much more. And if those are things that get you excited, if those are things that get you scouring the internet for news every day, and I know that you are, you're looking all over the place for where you can get the news, where you can get the latest gossip, where you can get the newest thing on the stuff that you love. Because that's what we are. Like, you know, I mean, I've been doing that. I mean, before the internet, I was going to the grocery store and looking up like Starlog magazine and stuff. I mean, that, you know, that's what you just did, you know. But hey, if that's the kind of person you are, then you have found the right place. So please hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so that you are here. And if you would for me, please, before you leave so kindly, please, you know, give us a thumbs up on the way out tonight before you leave. All right. Thank you for being here tonight. As always thankful to all of our members here at the channel. Thank you guys for all your support. Just love you guys so much. And we're grateful to every one of you, as well as all of our patrons. You guys are fantastic. And thank you to Paul Smith down there at the bottom. He just, he upped his monthly contribution to the Patreon quite a bit, actually. And so thank you so much, Paul. Really appreciate you, bro. And of course, thank you to everyone who gives super chats throughout the week. You guys are all fantastic and we love you all. And where'd it go? Oh yeah. And this week we always do a giveaway. And so this week is this 3-pack Blu-ray of Superman the movie, along with Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut, and of course, Superman Returns. And all you got to do to qualify for that is be a member, be a patron, or give a super chat at any time, and your name is automatically put in for the running for this. We'll give that away later this week. All right. That being said, we got a great panel tonight. We got some stuff to discuss. I'm sure we'll talk about a great deal, many things. Yes, as the Emperor would say. But we're going to get ready to jump right in. I do want to say hi to a couple people. What's up, Anthony? Anthony said he was having a bummer day today, but, or not Anthony, I'm sorry. It's Anchorman. Anchorman was saying he had a bummer day. Well, anyways, Anthony asked me how my day was, and he says, I think that Michael B. Jordan knows what he's doing, unlike JJ, Superman, which is probably going to take place in the 60s. I don't know. We'll get into that tonight and talk. What's up? Oh, good to see you. Good to see all the lounge lizards tonight. What's up, Todd Fair? Says Michael B. Jordan will be a great Superman. Anchorman again says, I had a bummer day, but I'd just like you to know that you are a great man. Thank you, Anchorman. You're a good guy, man. I appreciate you. DC Talk with Extended says, let's go. And we're going to. What's up, Patrick? Hey, I hope you catch the replay. Awesome. Thank you to everyone who's catching the replay. We love you guys, man. The rewatchability is like so cool to see, you know, because a lot of times we stream overnight and people here in the States, they're not able to watch it maybe live, and you guys really come through, man, and watch the show. And so I'm really, really thankful for that. What's up, Lord Slug? Good to see you. Warner Brothers should just quietly cancel JJ and Coates film and focus more. Yes. We're going to talk about that. Richard Gilbert says, hello, everybody. Luke Bro is in the house tonight. I'm all for Michael B. Jordan as Val-Zod Superman, using a character that's already in the comics, and getting more exposure is a plus for me. Geek Studio says, hi, guys. Caleb in the house says, hey, Enosh, hope you had a good day. It's going to be a fun night in the lounge. It's always a fun night in the lounge, isn't it? It's always good in the lounge. Tizai Cherie says, hello, nerd family. Happy weekend to all. You know who I want to say a special shout out to, and I don't know if she's watching tonight, but I hadn't talked to her in a while, and so I just reached out to her, and I haven't even had a chance to message her back on Twitter yet, but she did reach back out to me, and that is Rasha. Hey, Rasha, I love you. And I've missed seeing you. And she's kind of taking a break from social media and stuff. Understandable, especially these last few months. And so if you're watching, I just want you to know I love you and I appreciate you. And I got to answer her on Twitter, but today's been a crazy day. What's up, Bradley? Good to see you. Yes, the family's doing well. Absolutely. Lounging around like a lizard, says Cherie. Absolutely. What's up, David? Says, hello, Enosh. Can't wait to hear what you think about this current Elseworld Superman project. Maybe now we get a proper one again with Henry. Maybe. What's up, Mary Wilcox? Good to see you. Dark Star, good to see you. My day did go well. I got a lot of sleep today. I needed it too. I really did need it. What's up, Anthony? Good to see you, sir. Hey, Tifftastic is in the chat. Always good to see my wife, Tifftastic, in the chat, for sure. And then Katsuka's in the chat. Good to see you. I think I said hi to Mary Wilcox, but just in case, I want to make sure that Mary got in there. So if you got it in there twice, whatever. It's okay still, because I still want to say hi to you. The Dork Knight is in the house. Yes, we're all doing well. Hope you're doing well too. Job is in here. Job Diaz, good to see you. The Suscast is here. What's up, Suscast? Good to see you. Let's see. I think I said hi to Bradley, but just in case, what's up, Bradley? Slayer, rock on, brother. Let's see. Anybody else before I go to my group of people? What? There's Paul. What's going on, Paul? Thank you again, man, for upping your contribution to the Patreon. I can never express to you guys just how humbling it is for us, because we're not trying to make some buck here. We're not trying to, nobody's getting rich off of this. Sometimes Matt Jarbo and I were talking about this. Actually, Matt Jarbo, and I know Dawson and I have talked about this before. I think there's a real, there's this thing, everybody who does anything, Dawson and I got kind of hit this last week because we accept super chats, which is kind of weird given the fact that literally everybody we stream with accepts super chats now, because everybody's on their way up. In fact, congratulations to our good friend Saggy, because she hit monetization this week. And look, there's nothing wrong with monetization of a channel. It's kind of weird. It's like that kind of old punk rock, kind of thing, right? That it's if you got a record deal, or if you actually, sold your CD or your tape or whatever, bands would look at you weird, oh, you sold out. Look, there's nothing, there a lot of work goes in this, a lot of prep time goes into this, especially for people who have families. I have a family, Matt Jarbo has a family, Dawson has a family, other people who stream have families, our friends Max and others. And even if you don't have a family, it still takes a lot of time to put stuff together, to put video clips together and stuff like that. And I mean, even especially if you're doing giveaways, you got to go to mail them out, box them, do all this stuff. And so there's a lot that goes into it. And so that's not to say that we want to get paid, we're looking to get famous. Nobody's looking to get famous or whatever. Nobody's getting paid. I think there's a misnomer. Yeah, there's these channels out here, got 1 million subs and they're raking in, money, but that's not why we're here, folks. We're here to talk about nerd stuff. And so anything anybody does give is just, it's humbling more than anything else, because it shows that people really do appreciate what we're doing. And we appreciate that. But you know what? We appreciate shit if you just watch too. We appreciate if you're just here, because we just want you here. That's the most important thing. Venomous Prime, good to see you, sir. What's up, Adam? Adam in the house. My new friend Adam. I like this guy. He's we've had some good exchanges over on Matt's channel, and now he's here, and I'm glad to have him. 187. Always good to see 187. Let's see. And I'm just going to throw Mary Wilcox in there again, because Mary Wilcox is cool. Third time, yes. I think that's everybody. Ryan Hart. Oh, Jedi Wanderer. Jedi Wanderer, good to see you, Jedi Wanderer. Gavin Cooley in the house. My StreamYard thing bounced up, so I got to get back to the person I was going to put on there. Angie, always good to see Angie in here. Where'd he go? Oh my goodness, he was in here. Kenneth, hey, Kenneth Crayley is in here. Good to see you, Kenneth. Ruin Nation. The way they're pushing the new Superman movies, they're turning a lot of fans off. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. That's a funny name, Ruin Nation. Let's see. Ed N is here. Good to see you. Donatello is here. Danny L is here. There's Ryan Hartwell. There's where I was. What's up? You know what? So I'll be honest with you, man. With everything, I binged Masters of the Universe twice on Friday, and then I slept a lot. And when we did a stream last night until late, and so I have not seen it yet. You know what? Maybe I'll pop it on while we're doing this and give you a live what I feel of it. What's up, Sophie? Always, you know what? This warms my heart because Sophie is in the chat tonight, and I love when Sophie is in the chat. Her and Cylon Scotty. Happy birthday again to Cylon Scotty. Of course, happy birthday again to our good buddy H Barts this week, and of course our online buddy who's always here, but he's not here tonight. To our good friend Brian, Master of None, all celebrating birthdays. Come to find out, Brian, Master of None, and Scotty share a birthday. No wonder Scotty liked him so much. We used to give him a hard time all the time about that. All right. That being said, I've said enough hellos. We're so grateful to everyone who's in the chat tonight. But we're going to bring some people in. First of all, he's my partner in crime on Sunday afternoons. You can find us tomorrow on his channel, Nerdy in Many Ways, over there at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Sunday podcast. Yeah, we didn't give it a cool like nerdy name or anything like that. It's Sunday. He makes it into a podcast, and we just do it. So Sunday podcast, and then of course don't forget tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be back with 2 cents on nonsense. And I think we might have some stuff to talk about this week. What's up to Dawson? What's going on, Dawson?
What's up, guys? How's it going? It's good to be here.
I still haven't changed the background. I got to change the background back. I still got the I forgot I still had the Masters of the Universe background. I mean, it's a dope
cool background, though.
It is a dope background, but yeah, that kind of looks like plain now compared to this, doesn't it? Like, well,
I mean, to be fair, I did make that other background, so it's like.
That's true. we need you to now make something that pops. Like it's just like
in your face.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So welcome, Dawson. Always good to have you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And by the way, happy birthday to Silent Scotty and to Brian Master None and Sophie. What is up, Sophie? Yeah, Sophie and Silent are awesome.
Aren't they? Like you know what? Dude, we've all been doing this long enough now that it's so cool when we see people like enter the chat that like, especially when you've met people or you've talked to people online and stuff, you know, like now, like for forever now, when H Barts comes on, I've met H Barts now, right? I've met Elmo. Like it's really cool.
You mean Kermit?
Yeah. Well, Kermit and Elmo. Yeah. Kermit and his buddy Elmo. But yeah. So, but hey, and I've met you, Dawson. And so,
twice.
Yes. Twice.
So I'm extra important.
I don't know why that hit me funny. Yeah, I met him twice, baby. Dawson! Dawson! Ah! Yep.
Oh, come on. I just gotta say, you guys talked about that the other night, or the other morning, I should say.
Yeah.
And I'll let people know that's my first time playing VR. That was super disorienting. Holy crap. I was so...
I actually got some drops now. I found some VR drops from that game, and so I'm going to use those every once in a while because they're pretty funny. But let's get some more people in here, ladies and gentlemen. You love him. He is the oracle of all things, and you either like really agree with him or I don't know, you're wrong. Except for those couple times that I disagree with him on stuff, because like the guy's got a lot of wisdom. He's become known as William the Wise, and he absolutely is. And if you're ever in Vegas, make sure to visit the Sci-Fi Center out there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Broadcasting from the Sci-Fi Center. Look at him. He's got the whole Justice League there with him.
Yep.
What's up, man?
What's going on, William?
Not much. Just surviving the summer.
I relate.
How
to
hot
that.
is it? How hot is it in there in Vegas right now?
The day it was 103, but it was mostly cloudy, so it's the humidity that's really
Oh,
been the enemy today.
Dang.
Yeah. That's
Dang. That is rough, man. I know what it can get like out in Vegas, though. I mean, I lived out there for a long time and go back.
Did you
and
really
stuff.
though?
Yeah, I did.
Down to
I promise you, I'm not making that up for clout, Dawson.
Oh, okay. Okay. You know, we know how much of a grifter you are.
Yes. But whatever. But you know what? But you were lumped in there too, buddy. So
that's why I'm joking about it.
yeah. So we're grifting together. You know what I'm imagining, Dawson? I'm imagining us like back in like the early 1900s, you and me in some like 3-piece suits and like hat and like summer out on the plains somewhere down in like Kansas or something like that, and we're coming upon like little towns and stuff. And we got our little cart that we're pulling behind us, right? Or like, and I'm like, I don't know which one. We take turns, like, as we get to town, right? And then you'd be, we go to some town in Kansas where it hasn't rained forever, and it'd be like, I'd walk into the saloon and be like, hey, there's some guy out here talking about he can make it rain. Maybe we should go out there and listen to what he's got to say then. We get out there. Sir, I hear that you say you can make it rain. Is that right? And you'd be like, well, sir, yes, I might say that I have. I've been going across this great country of ours, making it rain for the fine folks in different towns. Well, tell us all about it. And you'd go into your whole thing, and we'd sell like some, something to people, some beans that people throw up into the air.
Some beans. Freaking hell.
Right, I don't know. That's what I think of when I think of grifters. That's just it's just I don't know. It's a fun. You know why? Because, dude, I've known you now for so long, and you are the furthest thing away from anything like that. You look, I can sit here and tell everybody that I'm not whatever, but that doesn't mean anything. But like if
your
people
word means nothing.
Yes, my word means nothing because I'm a grifter. I'm a grifter, right? But no. No, the thing is though, dude, I really appreciate you so much.
Oh, man,
and I will just tell you all, look, Dawson is a man of character, and
I'm a character, all right.
He is. He's a good guy. He really is a good guy, and I appreciate Dawson so much. And so yeah, so there you go. Anyways, and rounding out the night, I'm wondering if he actually went and saw Snake Eyes, because I did not. Nope, did not. Instead, I bought some GI Joes though. Bought some real GI Joes. And you know what? And I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. I bought the new action figures from the new GI
Action.
Yeah, from the new. Actually, Dawson, I got some really cool action figures to show you tomorrow. Very controversial though. Very controversial. Because they're from a very controversial movie.
I see.
Yes. That may involve a squad of some kind.
Oh
yes, my whole lot of figures came in. So.
I'm greatly disappointed, and my day is ruined.
Yes. By the way, William, I'm actually going to put a video together. I'm going to clip out every toy review that I've done, where I rip the box apart. I'm going to clip that out, and I'm going to put a video dedicated to you, sir.
So how do I do this thumbs down thing? Can I do it multiple times, or is it just one time?
Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, you love his voice. He's the voice of many characters, including my dad and sometimes Mike Zero. Apparently, he told me he was going to see Snake Eyes today, so we'll see if he's a liar.
I think he lied.
He is a Canadian. We don't know. No, I'm just teasing. I love Canadians. Canadians are some of my best friends. But anyways, and then there's this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. T.W. McKay. What's up, T.W.?
Hey, dude. I don't think he has his mic on.
You're silent.
He's a silent McKay.
Well, maybe he'll show up. It is Canada. Well, while we're waiting for him, hey, what's up, Ryan Hartwell with a $10 super chat. And what do we have here? He says, thanks to Matt Jarbo. Oh, Matt Jarbo, huh? You know what? I might have just the clip for that here in just a second. If I can get this thing to clip. What? I don't know what happened here. Why isn't it?
I think you're failing pretty hardcore.
I am failing hardcore, dude. I don't know what the heck is going on here. I had it going. What in the world? Changed the name of it and everything. And it still didn't work. I don't know what's going on.
Well,
let's see if that works. Hold on a second. Because I got the perfect drop for Matt Jarbo in the house. Oh, I think it did. Yeah, there we go. It worked there. Okay, so by the time I read this, it'll be loaded. So Ryan Hartwell with a $10 super chat. By the way, I have a commitment now to read super chats right away. I'm not going to let them get away from me anymore. Matt Jarbo says, I was able to attend an exclusive sneak peek of Dune in Bellevue, Washington. Awesome. Oh, that's cool. My brother lives in Belleville, actually. That's really cool. Bellevue, I'm sorry. It's Bellevue.
Was that the 10-minute clips?
What's that?
I know they were doing the 10-minute clip of the movie that they were showing.
I think so. Yeah. He says, I talked about my experience on 3 Buck Theater. If you like, I can talk about it here. Yeah. Give me a second and I will send you a clip. I will send you a link. I'd love to have you on, man. Always love having Ryan on. I love talking to Ryan. Ryan's great. The only thing we've ever had a problem is when Ryan's internet keeps kicking him out. Like, I hate that for him because he comes in and he's like, he'll be going so good and then like it'll kick him out. But yeah, TW has the same problem. I think that's what happened to him just now. But here is your drop because you mentioned Matt Jarbo.
They don't call me butt toucher for nothing. I just want to say, I need.
All right, he is back. What's up, TW? TW is back. They don't call him butt toucher for nothing.
I don't know how I feel about that.
So
I did want to show you something, Enosh.
Okay, you show us this while I try to send.
Because I just gotta say, like, today has been like one of the most creative days, like creatively growth days of like my entire life as an artist. I've been drawing all day, and I made something today that I'm like, I posted this on my Instagram and Twitter, but I'm like so proud of this because I wanted to. The other day I drew my own version of Batman. So today I wanted to draw my own version of Superman, but in the style of Michael Turner. So I did this, and I have the screen pulled up if you want to show it.
Yeah, hold on a second. Hey, by the way, Bruce, stick around for a minute because I've got a video that's just for you that you're gonna like.
His name is Bruce.
His name is Bruce. I promise you, Bruce. You're gonna love this. So stick around. Don't leave. I know sometimes he's not up late. So, but what do we got here? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, these are the ones that I did inspired by Michael Turner. So I got this one with the red and black logo, and I got this one with the normal, red and in yellow, and I got this one. It's more like evil Superman, black and gold.
Oh, dude, nobody likes evil Superman.
Oh well, then obviously you need some laser eyes in your face.
Oh,
dude,
that's awesome.
I drew this. I started drawing this like 4 hours ago. And literally, like every 2 minutes as I was drawing, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so happy about this." Anyway, so dude,
that's great.
I was
Ryan. Why am I not pulling you up, man? I need you to. Hey, Ryan, do me a favor, dude, because I don't know why it's not. Everything's acting weird tonight. I don't know. Everything's acting weird. Ryan, do me a favor, buddy. If you could, I'm gonna try this one more time.
And while I do that, I can also show off some comics that I got today.
Brian, Brian, I don't know why. Oh, hold on. I don't know if this is you though. Maybe. I know that you and I don't know if this is you, dude. I don't know what's going on. Ryan, can you private message me? Hey, Saggy Melons is in the house. Hey, Saggy, by the way, we congratulated you on your monetization. Now you can be a grifter just like everybody else. All right, we're gonna try this again. Okay, he's there. Yes, where's the cocaine? I've got the cocaine. Well, I don't have it. Clovey's got it. Clovey keeps the cocaine. Where is it? Where is the cocaine? Yeah.
Gosh, those clips.
She likes it. She loves the Clovey clips. Okay, so this is for I gotta bring this in. This is for Bruce. Every time I hear this, and I'm not going to give it away. not going to give away what it is, because if I give away what it is, it won't be as funny. I'll talk about what it is after I play it, because I want you to actually listen to this and want Bruce. I want Bruce's reaction. Wish Bruce I get Bruce's reaction. But as soon as it loads, 5 hours later. Jeez.
Wouldn't be the first time in the
so
stream.
yeah, I know, right? So here we go. Bruce, this is for you, buddy.
So my husband started acting pretty strange. He kept asking me for money, even though we share a bank account and it's full. Every time I tried to take a picture with him, he wouldn't let me. Like, I couldn't get a picture of him. And then there was the smell. He smelled like a swamp. And he would go soak in the bathtub for hours and still somehow smelled like a swamp. And he kept disappearing for hours. So one night I track his location. We share it on our iPhones. It shows up in the middle of the lake. I'm like, this is too much. And I confronted him. And when I confronted him, he had the nerve to ask me for money again. He started crying. And I was like, well, okay, Paul, so how much do you need? And he looked at me, and I'll never forget this. He said, about tree fitty. It was about that time I realized my husband was an 8-story tall monster from the Mesozoic era. And I said, God damn it, Loch Ness Monster. I'm not giving you no tree fitty.
That's for Bruce. Bruce always gives a $3.50 super chat, and he's like, it's for the Loch Ness Monster. It's my tree fitty.
Oh my gosh.
So that's for you, Bruce. I love you, Bruce.
I was so concerned.
I was waiting for a punchline, and I didn't know where the hell that was going.
Right.
I thought this was going to be the earliest moment of any of your shows that the show was going to go south real quick.
I know, man. No, it was just something simple, So, but it cracked me up because like that came up on TikTok, and I was like going, I was like, what? Yeah, I was the same way. I was like, what the heck is this talking about? And but it was pretty cool. So, all right, TW, are you with us?
It does not appear so.
Oh, but yeah, I'm trying to unmute him, but it's not letting me even unmute him. So I don't know what's going on.
It's a Canadian barrier.
Gosh.
Starting.
All right. Well, we'll get and see just like that. See, that's how the grift works, guys. You do something for
you appeal to the masses.
You appeal to him, and then that the tree fitty will come. No, if she gets divorced, can you hook me up? I'll try, Bruce. But you may want to talk to your wife about that. Just saying. You may want to talk to your wife about that.
Would be a smart thing to do.
Yes, but thank you, sir, for the 350 for the Loch Ness Monster. All right. So guys, we've been talking about this other story now for quite a while. It's literally how I met Wayne T. Carr. Was this whole Black Superman deal, right? Like when Black Superman got announced and it happened. I was just like, well, I don't dig it. I don't dig what they're doing with that, because it just seemed like it was very it didn't seem real, you know. It didn't seem that it was something that people actually wanted. It didn't seem like anybody cared about it, that it would be something that people wanted. I still have yet to know one black person literally that wants the version that we've been hearing about over and over and over again, and rightfully so, because people have talked about how they feel like it's just a token thing, that it's just like, hey, we're just going to make Clark Kent into a black guy and just switch it out with no apparent reason or no apparent background story or whatever. And I don't even see how that makes sense from a financial standpoint, because I would think that you'd want to give people a character that they can go back and learn the history of and buy merchandise. I mean, I've got a Calvin Ellis figure, I'd love a Val Zod figure, man. That the blue and the white and stuff. I would love that. But there's all this stuff that like nobody can go back and do that with that. And Wayne T. Carr was literally hanging out in the chat that night when I did my first reaction video to that whole thing. And, and he was adamant about it. Ray Fisher was adamant about it. I've seen just other people. They're very much like this doesn't make sense.
Offensive. It's
What's
really
that?
offensive. It's offensive. That's really the best way I can use to describe that version of Superman on a couple different levels. Superman is what he is. Superman is what he is, and changing that about that character doesn't do anything good for any type of inclusiveness. The Val Zod character does. I don't think that movie was ever going to happen to begin with. I think that's in New Gods territory, where it gets mentioned a lot, and but it's a weather balloon. It's a weather balloon for the people who are looking for the reaction of floating this around. When they float the stuff around, if there's really super positive reaction, then they start moving forward. They start hiring people. They start doing all kinds of things like that. If it gets a negative reaction, then you go the different direction. Here's another weather balloon, but this weather balloon, it makes more sense, and it's got more of a positive reaction. So I think this balloon is actually going to be the one that gets made. I highly doubt that the J.J. Abrams version is ever going to get made.
I 100% agree with you. As soon as that was announced, like I literally thought to myself, this sounds like something that just won't get made at all.
Mm-hmm. And DC has a history of that these days anyway. So.
Oh yeah. At this point, it's like, oh, Warner Brothers announced something for DC. Well, I'll believe that when I see it.
Yeah, and that's a horrible thing on its own. That's another stream on its own, how they've handled the thing.
Like it's not just the idea that you're worried about them putting out quality content. It's you're worried about them putting out content, period.
Or finishing what they started.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, and it's true. It really is true. And I just, Angie, for sure. If I find a Val Zod figure, dude, I am so there. To my knowledge, I have not seen one yet.
I hope they change his costume. His current costume, the costume he's been depicted in, as the only thing I don't like. That costume's ugly. So I hope they come up with something different.
The blue and the silver one?
Yeah, I don't like that costume.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
I'm hoping they take some liberties with that, but I wouldn't might be upset if they took some liberties with his costume.
Really?
I never liked it. Ever since they've introduced that character, I've never liked that.
Dude, I love.
But that's not what it's going to look like, though. But
no, I know. But I mean, that's the general gist of it. I mean, I could pull it up for those who don't know.
It'd be that color. It'd probably be like that color scheme, but it'd look more like Sasha Calle's Supergirl.
Yeah, I don't mind the color scheme. It's the designs that I've seen from when I've read the comic that he's in. I hated that design.
Oh, okay.
Because he's in.
What did you think of Thomas Wayne's Batman costume from Earth 2, from that same Earth?
All right, so probably going to get shot down super hard from this. I hated that storyline.
Oh, you didn't like it?
I absolutely hate it.
I'm probably one of the few people who like it, so don't worry.
You're talking about the Flashpoint Batman?
No. From Earth 2, like the Earth Val Zod film.
Oh, no, I didn't. I haven't seen a Val Zod costume I liked. I actually had one sitting here. We had the comics in that today because we were talking about it. Yeah, I hate that.
Really?
Yeah,
that suit pops to me.
They got to make some changes. That silver S is goofy for. Ugh.
See, I think it would work better if they had a better shade of blue. I think the blue is way too light and it almost blends in with the white to me. And you have to have a little bit more contrasting colors in order for it to really pop for me. I mean, overall, I think it has a good idea to it. I like the bracelets and the belt. And I like the shine of the logo. It's just the color contrast needs to be more profound in order to really pop for me.
That logo makes me nauseous the way they have it, but that's but like I said, it's probably not going to look like that. I'm hoping they get said this will be the one time where if they took liberties and did something a little bit, I would not be upset.
Mm-hmm. Man, I disagree on this one, man. That suit to me, like that suit pops. It's much better than the Calvin Ellis one. I feel.
Well, that's not saying much, though. that is really ugly.
Well, that one looks almost like the Kal-El costume. It just just the changing of the coloring and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I'll pull up that one too. But I don't like that one. That's the one that
that one you don't even need to bring that thing up. But
which one?
The Calvin Ellis one. Is that the one?
Okay.
Yeah,
with the big boxy looking thing.
Yeah, I like this one. Whoops, I gotta save it. No, man, I totally
Have you changed
dig.
images yet? Sorry, just my internet's
No, I
a
haven't.
little.
No,
I
I'm
haven't.
looking at the same one. I got Cox. So
Yeah, no, I'm
If
trying,
I
trying to
Shree's
bring up.
asking, hang on. Yeah, I can speak. Yes, Shree. My internet was being dumb.
Was being dumb.
We kind of figured as much.
But this is the Calvin Ellis one. This is the figure that I've got. I've got this action
Oh
figure.
yeah.
And I
that's
it's all
actually
right.
Worse, but I've seen better.
See, I disagree. I think that Val Zod one just pops, man.
Oh, I love it.
Love the way that Val Zod one looks.
I do kind of like the gold in this one, although the black trim on the cape is a little odd.
Yeah. Well, and the figure that I've got, it's got just like a vinyl, instead of I don't know, instead of just like a plastic or a cloth or whatever. So, so I don't like that. I don't really like the way that this one comes across the shoulders like that and attaches at the shoulders.
Yeah,
I've never liked that look on any Superman costume. But as far as just the costumes themselves, I don't know, man. I can't believe that you don't like the Val Zod one, man. This one, I mean, it's got the classic look. It's got the classic look, yet I love those colors for this.
Yeah.
I mean, it just.
I was laughing at Shree's comment. She's just like, "Damn Comcast." I'm like, I'm Canadian. We don't even have Comcast up here.
You guys got like a moose that runs on a treadmill.
And he gets tired. We have to feed him maple fudge every 3 hours. It's a really tough experience for the guy. I mean,
well, that's some bad internet right there.
Oh man! Oh, hold on a second. Oh, well, Ryan, I don't know if you're sending me a message or not, man. I'm trying to get you in here, Ryan.
Is he sending it to you? You got two different accounts. I had the same problem with you. Remember?
Yeah. He might be sending it to my private account. Let me check.
Ryan Hartwell?
Ryan Hartwell. Because I'm not finding Ryan, and I don't know why. Because I wanted to send him the link so he could come in and talk to us about the Dune thing, but I'm not.
By the way, that movie, man, that trailer. The only time I've ever gotten chills like that watching a trailer was Blade Runner 2049, and unfortunately,
the new trailer.
Yeah, I think it's going to meet the same fate as Blade Runner 2049.
But I hope not, but I know what you mean.
I think it's going to be one of the best movies in the last 10 years. And Hans Zimmer's doing the score, man.
Oh, I didn't know that. That gets me more excited.
I thought go to Watchtower and they're playing the Paul's Dream. And like I said, I have absolutely no use for Dune, none, other than this movie. This is going to be my fourth or fifth chance at Dune as far as giving it a shot. Yeah. But this one's going to stick.
I love the wink. I love the wink and nudge that of putting Floyd in the first trailer.
Yeah. But like I said, unfortunately, I think they're going to take a bath on this movie. But.
Either way. Well, like for those who don't know what I'm talking about, the reason why they actually put Pink Floyd in the first trailer, it was the song Eclipse, was because back in the 70s, a director by the name of Alejandro Jodorowsky wanted to do an experimental 12-hour adaptation of Dune, and he wanted Pink Floyd to do the score. And so Hans Zimmer, when they were editing the trailer for this Dune, knew that, so he actually got together some musicians and put together a version of the song Eclipse, which is on Dark Side of the Moon.
Interesting.
By the way, I always hear that Dark Side of the Moon is their best album.
What do you think it is?
It's The Wall for me.
I think it's Dark Side of the Moon, but I think for me it's for me more than anything else. I think it's probably has to be with the fact that if Floyd had made the decision to include like the speech sections, all like the dialogue sections in between the songs, if they had stapled those onto one of the songs before it or after it, I'd feel a little bit better. But because of the fact that it's just sometimes you have tracks where it's just a little bit of music and exposition.
Yeah, it just rolls into.
I have a bit of a problem with that, but otherwise, there are phenomenal songs on The Wall as well.
Oh, see, to me, the
well,
Wall.
I love The Wall. As somebody who used to work at a planetarium where we did laser shows, where at one point I think we had 5 different laser shows of. Okay. Oh, you just sent it. Okay, you sent it to Discord. Okay.
He's asking you to send the link to his Discord.
Oh man, I don't know if I know Discord that well. Let me see.
You can pretty much if just open up the Poindexter Lounge Discord, or even just you should be able to find him on there, and you can just kind of DM him the link.
Okay.
If not, I can probably just send him the link from the group DM, because I think I have you. I think I have you on Twitter, Ryan.
Oh, TW, I think you'll appreciate this. Guess what came in the mail today?
There he is.
Oh yeah, I'm not lying. Though, Dawson. I saw that on Twitter. I'm not lying. When you said that, I genuinely thought you were going to say D's nuts. I really did. I really did.
What?
Wow. Okay.
Wait, when I said what on Twitter?
I don't enough to know what that means.
No, like something came in the mail today. What? D's nuts?
Oh,
That was the original setup for D's nuts. For those who don't remember.
No, I wasn't going for that. But
my buddy who was a firefighter during the Fort Mac fires, the Fort McMurray fires in Alberta a few years ago, ran into the D's nuts guy at a mall.
Oh no!
And apparently,
oh geez.
No, like that was where the original guy who said that in a video that kind of set the thing viral ran into him at a mall. Apparently, was one of those dudes that thought he was too cool for school.
Well, because he's in everybody's like head as far as like gifts and everything and memes and stuff. But yeah, I got this in the mail, and then I got oh my gosh, dude, today was a beautiful day.
Yeah, it was the thing you posted on.
Yeah. There we go. We got Ryan in here now.
What's up, Ryan?
Hey.
What's going on, man? Good to see you, bro. And we got DL. DL found his way in here too.
Hey, DL.
Yeah.
Awesome. While you're showing that, yeah, no, dude. As far as my favorite Pink Floyd thing, I will say this: I listened to a ton of Pink Floyd growing up, and my boss was a huge Pink Floyd fan. So that at one point we had 5. Oh dang! I'm gonna have to pull you up here, man.
Pancakes.
Look at this.
Yeah, I got some of those.
Yeah, the variant covers.
Yep.
Which I wanted all the black and white ones, and lo and behold, I did.
And
I got them all out of order too. They sent them out of order.
They sent them out of order, but I ordered them myself.
That was Alan Scott's Lantern and like a reference to Ambush Bug, right?
That was Alan Scott's Lantern and a reference to Mothman.
That's it. Oh yes, Mothman. Yes, because he's he's in the book.
Yeah, I love this cover though. The black and white.
Oh, that's cool.
I got that one on the wall. I got that one on my wall. That one is cool. The key. That one's cool.
Yeah, I like this one too. And this is dope. Although, like, I have the colored version, of course, the cover of the compiled version. Yeah. But I just like this one a lot because you see a lot of like line work in the bottom. I've been studying line work like crazy, so that's why.
You have the colored version too.
These are the only ones that I have. I have the compiled book. Like I have.
Oh, okay. Because I got the colored separate version with the blood on it. Kind of cool.
Because I have. Let me see if I can pull this up.
Although that series, the best 11-issue, 12-issue series, or of the 12-issue series you ever read. Yeah, there you go. That's what. Yeah, that's only read. That last issue was just well.
Yeah, I got both.
What did you think about Doomsday Clock, William? What did you say?
The way it wrapped up sucked. I really, and that you could clearly tell that I didn't think that's where he was going. He was going for a reset, and somebody stopped him. I got the feeling that he basically was going to use
Doomsday Clock as the reboot instead of Rebirth.
To do the same thing that he did previously.
I think what happened was it was either somebody stopped him, or more likely, I would imagine, because he was at that point still CCO. I would imagine it was probably just because it ran so damn long, like it kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. They're like, well, we need to put something out. Why don't we go this route? And then they centered it around Wally as opposed to centering it around.
Here's what I think happened. Because these reboots have really killed some of these sales of these comics. I think that his bosses said no, because you have all these different creators doing their own different things, and you're basically going to shoehorn all of that with one book. You're going to basically change the trajectory with one book, and then you're going to do another severing of this continuity just after people have wandered away from the last couple of ones that have already happened.
How I view it is like I like to read it as like just a solo story. I kind of ignore everything outside of it, just as a solo story. Like I feel like it's really interesting. In fact, I would really love a spin-off comic of a Dr. Manhattan powered Superman. Like they introduce at the end, like, dude, that would be cool. Like the design of that suit could be really interesting.
It would be
I wanted to
interesting.
approach it as a separate story, but you could kind of see what they were doing from the moment that you admitted what Dr. Manhattan had done. I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna do this again, and then I'm like, and the way it ended was like almost you're going down one road, and all of a sudden you just made a left turn and went off roading.
And the fact that he tied it directly into literally his last reboot with the new 52. Literally, that was my other problem, was the fact that, was it 3 different things were basically argued throughout the early New 52's history, or throughout the New 52's history, as being the reason for the reboot. First was Flash, was Barry going back in time, creating Flashpoint back in time again and creating the New 52. Then you had Pandora and the whole thing of her messing around with stuff. And then you had Manhattan. And the fact that, think about, in 10 years, you've had the New 52, you've had Convergence, you've had Rebirth, and you've had Infinite Frontier. 4 universe-wide soft or hard reboots in 10 years. That's brutal for your reader base.
4 bad ideas.
I was thankful for the New 52 because I hadn't read comic books month to month in a very, very long time. So having a jumping on point was nice. The problem was they wouldn't commit to what was canon and what wasn't canon after the soft reboot at the start, and that was a problem for me.
Well, hey, then that junk man, then you should just come on in here. You should feel right at home. Yeah. We all know that you're just as woke as all of us. By the way, shout out to Junkman. I love Junkman. Junkman and I are going to do a project together.
He said the only Floyd he likes was Floyd the Barber. I'm like, I don't know. Floyd Rose was pretty cool. I know.
Floyd Rose was pretty cool. Yeah, if you're a guitar player, for sure. So I will just say this about Pink Floyd. I think that probably as far as the album, it's really hard because I look at both of those albums as like, they're very much like this, right? They're just kind of neck and neck to me. But I will say probably as far as like an album, Dark Side of the Moon is better.
I will agree on that front.
The Wall is more commercially acceptable, and I love it just as much. I mean, The Wall is a great tune. Have you ever tried to watch the movie?
Yes, I've screened it here.
The Wall is a weird movie to like if you've never seen The Wall. I'll just tell you this. Every time if you've never seen The Wall, the best way I can put it is every time you try to every time you think you know what the movie's about, it changes. And it's not about that. It's about something else. It's been a while since it's been a while since I've watched it. I should actually watch it again. Hey, what's up, Ill Life? By the way, shout out to Ill Life.
Ill Life, dude.
Dude, kicking it, doing some amazing work. And I want to tell you, we're talking music, so Ill Life pops in here and says, I love Dark Side of the Moon and The Wall, but I really love Division Bell, too. Even though it's later on. Yeah. Well, you know what? And that was things like at the time.
That was Roger Waters.
Yeah. I was working at the planetarium doing those laser shows when Division, like right away, because I was working there, in 93?
That came out in 94. Division.
Yeah. So it was like I was working there. Yeah. Because I started working there in 93 until the end of 94. And so Division Bell came out right at that time. So my boss was like in heaven. But by the way, Ill Life, I just want to shout out to you, man. And all the work that I know that you've been doing lately, and you got my support, man.
I mean this with every single ounce of my being. Ill Life's a freaking genius. Like Ill Life's a freaking genius with music, dude. Like the guy's awesome. I talk with him pretty frequently. Just a really cool guy.
Yes, that junk man. I will tell you this. So tonight is the lounging around stream. So this is literally like it's a round robin. Anybody can bring up any topic, anything that they want to discuss. I mean, we always do that anyways, but you can literally bring up anything you want to discuss, anything that's new, anything that's going on, anything you want to talk. Right now, we're talking about Pink Floyd. I didn't plan it. The only story that I had planned on
was the Michael B. Jordan thing.
Was the Michael B. Jordan thing. I know that TW wants to talk about Snake. Did you go see Snake Eyes?
I did actually, yeah. So
okay, so he's going to talk about Snake Eyes in a little while. And then Ryan Hartwell, if we can keep him in here for a couple of minutes, he's going to tell us all about the preview of Dune that he got to see. And then we got Peter Rabbit's Defender here with the $9.99 super chat. Says I love BR2049.
Blade Runner 2049.
Yes, Blade Runner 2049, and I saw the film 10 times in cinema, but I believe Dune will do better. Here's 3 reasons. 1, PG-13 and more action packs. 2, gigantic scope since Lord of the Rings. 3, it's Game of Thrones meets Godfather in space.
I will say this: when it's you'd have to say you believe Dune will do better. It's like, are you referring to critically or commercially? Because commercially, it's probably going to wind up making comparable money. I won't say less money, but I'll say comparable money because it will make it'll make more money because more people are going out because there's less lockdowns going on. But I think it's possible it still might not have the massive commercial reach as something like Lord of the Rings did. And as far as what PG is it only PG-13?
Yeah, it's PG-13. I don't think that'll make a difference though. It's gonna bomb for a couple of reasons, and I'm not hoping it's gonna bomb. I see it coming. It's an IP. It's not Lord of the Rings level IP. This Dune IP is a very difficult IP to crack. It's been tried several times with mediocre success, and now you're making it on a much larger scale. This is a lot of money to put into this type of movie. I think the length. I think it's 245. It's somewhere between 230 245 for part 1, which is the same thing that hurt Blade Runner 2049. Because even though guys like me saw it multiple times, most people won't see it. It limits what a theater can, how many times a theater can show it when it's that long, and just the fact that it's the IP itself. Like I said, comparing it to Game of Thrones is kind of different because that's on a whole different level. But like I said, I don't think the IP recognition resonates as much as something like Lord of the Rings, which is generation after generation after generation. And it's a much wider known IP. I hope I'm wrong because this will be 0 for 2 for Denis Villeneuve when it comes to these type of legacy movies. He'll have 2 movies that didn't do well, and that's not good. But quality-wise, I think it's going to be commercially, I think it's going to bomb. Critically, I think it's going to win most of the major awards when it comes to Academy.
You need the clip.
Is Deakins back on cinematography for Dune?
I'm not sure.
I'll look it up. But yes,
just like the tease everybody a little bit, just tickling it a little bit. I'm pretty sure that's exactly when that account, Buena Vista Tickler, was born. I'm
almost 100% certain that was when it was born.
Okay, no, he is not.
It almost sounds like you know something about that, TW.
Yeah, he's not a cinematographer for this one.
Okay.
It'll be really strange if they can't continue it because I think they still greenlit the Sisterhood show on HBO Max. So that'd be really
they're not looking at it that way. They're not looking at it in financial terms. This movie could bomb, and they're still going to go forward with the second part and the TV series because of the critical success. They'll make their money back on the back end. They just won't make it at the box office. But when you're getting Academy Awards, when you're getting BAFTAs, when you're getting Golden Globes, that prestige is priceless to them, and it helps them line up investors for other movies. It puts them in a category that now when you re-release it on Blu-ray, DVD, you add that Academy Award label on top of it, and Best Director. So, like I said, I think they know they're going to struggle with this one, IP-wise. I think that's one of the reasons why it's going to end up being on HBO Max, too. But it's going to win some awards. But I think I disagree with the director though. When he's saying this should be exclusively in theaters, it's not that kind of IP, Denny. The problem with that is most people, if they give this a shot, they're not going to spend $100 to take a family out to this if they're not already all the way in. But if they can flip it on HBO Max and watch it and fall in love with it, when the second part comes out, now those guys might get out there and spend that kind of money to go out there because they fall in love. I know plenty of people who had never seen Blade Runner 2049 until they saw it on HBO Max, and now they want more. And who knows if we'll ever get a third one of that.
Yeah, so, and I knew I recognized the name. Greg Fraser is going to be the cinematographer for Dune. He did the cinematography for Matt Reeves' adaptation of Let Me In, Killing Them Softly. To our realm of the world, you would recognize him from. He did the cinematography for Rogue One. He's going to be doing cinematography for the Batman. And he actually did the cinematography for 3 episodes of season 1 of The Mandalorian, one of which he actually won a Primetime Emmy for.
Wow.
Rogue One is all I needed to hear. That cinematography on
That
film
movie's
is great.
gorgeous. I mean,
It's a
that
great
and
movie.
Last Jedi are, in my opinion, some of the best looking Star Wars movies in the entire franchise, and they're just good looking movies. Period.
Yeah.
They went all out for this movie. They spent some. This movie
Oh,
is
yeah.
top notch. Unfortunately, like I said, it's just not. I don't think it's one that the masses are going to grasp onto until after it hits the box office and does what it's going to do. But we'll be talking about it in the same way they talked about Lord of the Rings in the mid 2000s, as far as that kind of quality, that type of success. And I think Denis Villeneuve will finally get his Academy Award that he's kind of been cheated out of 2 previous times. He didn't even get nominated for Blade Runner 2049, which I thought was. I mean, I'm not saying he would have won, but not to get nominated when he got nominated for every other major award for that movie.
It's a highway robbery.
Yeah,
He was nominated for some of his other stuff, though, right? Like
he was on for Arrival. He was nominated for Arrival. Arrival actually got Best Movie nod, but like I said, he'll get it. I think he'll get it this time. I'm gonna guess Best Movie from what I've seen coming out and from what's been out there. There's really not a lot out lately because a lot of people held their movies back. So it's gonna have a thin playing field, and that's gonna help it as far as Oscars go. And it's gonna be the quality that it's gonna be. Like I said, they don't care about that money right now. They care about those statues.
I hope they'll be able to make part 2 then. I really hope so.
Yes.
Okay, so this new Dune trailer, this just came. Is this the one that just came out like 2 days ago, right? Okay.
Yeah, the 3-minute one, 3-minute 47-second one.
I want to be careful with it because it's 3 minutes
so I'm
long.
not. So
it's Warner Brothers.
Okay, yeah. So I'm not gonna put it up here. What I've been doing lately is like if there's something like this because people are asking like to get my reaction to it, so to speak. So what I've been doing is like I've done this to a couple other ones, and this seems to be okay too for everybody, just because they want to see my reaction to it. So I tell everybody if they want to pull it up at the same time, I'm going to watch it. We can all watch it that way together. But I will. I'll pull it up in just a few minutes after we're done talking about Superman here. But yeah, let's go.
Ryan, are you good to talk, or are you still kind of struggling?
My internet's a little funky right now, but I think I'm willing to say my piece before my internet cuts out, but I will try my very best to get back in.
All right, bro.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So this is how okay. So Matt was kind enough to get me a ticket to see an event in Bellevue Square. You know, he couldn't attend to it because of his hernia. So he was kind enough for that. So here's how my day went. At 6 p.m., I was able to leave early, because of traffic. So I was able to make it to the 7 o'clock showing, and of course I was a little hesitant because the ticket said "show with ID." Because this was Matt's ticket, I was afraid they were going to turn me away. Thankfully, I was able to go in and so on and so forth. Okay. And before we went into the auditorium, they told us to put our phones into paper bags, per usual for any kind of event, to make sure there are no leaks going on.
Right.
And let's see. So we went in. I picked up 2 posters. One was for me, one's for Matt. I'm thinking about sending it to him pretty soon. And when I went there, the theater was packed. There was barely an open seat left, so I was able to find one in the back. And so when it started, they showed behind the scenes with the director and the actors, talking about how passionate they are with the source material, especially with
Oh no!
Yeah, I want to hear that say. Damn it!
Oh no!
He's gonna have to type that in. I need to hear what you had to say.
Wait, hold on a second. I think he's back here.
There we go.
There we go. Hey, we can see him.
Hey, Aaron.
You still there?
Dang it!
Tell him what he was gonna say. I wanted to hear what he's gonna say.
Yeah, Cherie's like answering for all of us. We're like, "Ah, we're right there. We're so close."
It's like, you said too much. Shut him down.
So, yeah, somebody's had the same thing. We don't want to spoil it. Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't done one of those here in Vegas because I know they're going to do a screening once we get closer to it, and we'll get to promote that movie. I'm going to do everything I can to get every soul that I can to get into that movie.
That's weird because, like,
okay, so go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, like, because I've seen some YouTubers that were like, talking about Dune the past couple of years, and recently when they were talking about that 20 minutes that they exclusively showed, Warner Bros. Was trying to copyright them for no reason. Like, I didn't understand that either. It's like they didn't even show any of the trailer or anything like that. They were just talking about it, and Warner Brothers was giving them a hard time. I'm like, what are you doing? You are sabotaging yourself. Like, don't you
You're
want
sabotaging your own marketing campaign.
Directly or through YouTube? Directly or was it?
This was through YouTube. Like, when they're just
YouTube.
Yeah,
it's a little bit different because I had a situation where we were literally promoting a Warner Brothers movie.
Well, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Ryan, are you there? Because if Ryan's, I want if we can hear Ryan. You there, buddy?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So when it started, there was this behind-the-scenes stuff with the director Denny, and just talk about how passionate they are, and then they said, "Here's the 10 minutes, the first 10 minutes of the movie," and so it starts off with a narration and just explaining, what the spice is, what are the political ramifications of it.
Damn it.
No.
Have them recorded and send it in, dude. Have them recorded and send it in.
That's not a. That's.
Okay.
Okay.
What are the political ramifications of it, and just establishing the lore and such. And then we see Timothy Chalamet's character, learning about the history while listening to the dialogue as scenes intercut. And then we see Oscar Isaac's character with at this treaty signing ceremony, and they pour on the wax on the said treaty. He has a ring as the seal itself. He places on it, and then he asks, "Is it done?" And the treaty guy says, "Yes, it is done." End scene. And after that, they show another random scene involving the sandworm, and then after that, they show a behind-the-scenes featurette with the director and Hans Zimmer, who's doing the score. And Hans Zimmer talks about how passionate he is about the original source material, and how he's always wanted to do the score. And then after that, they show the trailer, which we're about to watch, and that's pretty much the event. And so I went outside. I got my phone. I bought some pretzel bites with cheese, and I went home. Okay.
Is that wrapped up? Ryan, what was the atmosphere like as far as the response in the crowd? Was it electric? I mean, because I'm trying to.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the crowd was ecstatic. I wasn't able to. I wasn't able to read about the reactions after I got home because it was still fresh in my mind. But
damn,
seems to be good. Seems to be good.
Well, I want to hear from somebody who went to it, who's seen Blade Runner 2049. Has he seen Blade Runner? These guys, he gone or is he back?
He's back.
Hey, Ryan, have you seen Blade Runner 2049?
I have, yes.
Now the vibes that when you went to see that, how would you compare those vibes to what you saw when they put Dune on the screen?
It has a fairly similar vibe. Just
okay, wow.
It's very atmospheric and along the same lines as Arrival as well.
Oh wow, that's. I mean, I'm just everything I hear about it. I just can't wait. I just
cannot
can't wait.
wait.
I might push it past the finish line of the money it needs just by me going as many times. I tried to play with it.
I gotta finish. I gotta read the book before I go, just because I just want to do that. But I can tell you, I'll probably be seeing this at least.
I would rather
twice.
eat the book than read that book again. I would rather literally eat the pages out of that book than ever read another Murphy book again.
Yeah, I just started that book, actually. I'm currently on page 45.
You only got about 70,000 pages to go. Keep it chilling. And they're all boring.
Yeah, I haven't until October, so.
Oh.
But are they as boring as the next Marvel movie?
What movie is that?
Okay, let's go see this latest piece of Marvel shit you kids are jizzing over.
Yeah. What, Shang-Chi? Shang-Chi looks good.
What movie?
Shang-Chi looks pretty good.
Put that on the screen.
What movie do you think is gonna be boring?
Doesn't really matter. You see what he just put
It's just the joke.
Just a joke. Just a joke. So this is what I got. Since we're talking about Dune, we'll get to Superman in just a minute, which is the main topic. But I am going to do this. So I have I've got the trailer pulled up here, and I am going. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you all. If you guys want to watch it along with me, you can.
I memorized it already.
Yeah, I mean you don't have to, but I'm going to put the link. The link is there. You can open it up in a different window if you want to, or whatever you want to do.
I could hear, honestly, William, at least in my opinion, I could hear Oscar Isaac do monologues for hours. Like I really could. I love the tone of his voice. It works really well.
So I'm going to go ahead. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to give you guys a second to go ahead, and if you want to pull it up in another window, you can. If not, and you just want to see my reaction, you can do that too. And then you can see my reaction, and then that way I'll be able to talk about it from a more learned point of view. Yeah, Adam Burke, like I'm really not interested in seeing Shang-Chi. I'm just not interested in it. And then Eternals, I have absolutely no interest in Eternals whatsoever.
I'm more interested in Shang-Chi than anything else that I can think of right now.
I'm really excited for Shang-Chi. It is a combination of two of my favorite sort of genres of movies in superheroes and martial arts films. And then Eternals, I think I'm just interested in because it's based on Kirby's work, and I just was really interested in that storyline to begin with.
Yeah, no problem.
I want to see the Celestials.
Thank you, Ryan. If Ryan, you are welcome to stay, dude, as long as you want. Dude, I love having you on, man. And you know what? We'll keep bringing you in and doing whatever we got to do. He said he might have to leave before StreamYard destroys him. But dude, if you don't, I understand. And I always love having you on, bro. And you're welcome anytime, bro. Just want you to. I don't even know if you can answer me, but
thank you.
But yes. But always love having Ryan on. Ryan's a good guy. So, all right. So I'm gonna go ahead and watch this. I got mine set up. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'll say 3, 2, 1, and then hit play, and then we'll go from there. Right. So, in 3, 2, 1, play. Hey, there's Batista.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You
Jason Momoa.
It didn't build me a movie just by looking at it. It's like his fingerprint is just right in this movie.
Someone put on some muscle.
I told you I could hear him do monologues for hours.
Bunch of sand crawlers. Got centaurs.
As much as I favor HBO Max, this really needs to be seen on the largest screen.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, I'm totally not watching this on HBO Max.
Now, for the people who are in between,
The Worm.
that's the only way you're going to go see it. Then I'd rather you see it on HBO Max than not at all. But man,
If you're seeing it in theaters, The Worm.
Yeah, I'm making my friends go see this in theaters.
I can't wait to promo screen this movie.
Oh, that's gonna be a blast.
Oscar Isaac looks great in this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so watching that, I have a couple of thoughts on that. First of all, how long before the same people who hate everything come out and say that it's woke and that
the thing's already
complaining. Oh, this feels so much like Star Wars. Because it inspired Star Wars.
I'd love to hear someone say that. One, two. With respect to wokeness, would you consider discussing the message of climate change woke, Enosh?
Some people would.
That's what this Dune is definitely a sort of a global warming allegory in certain respects, from what I've been told.
Well, I'll just say this about it. It looks amazing from a cinematic standpoint of view. It looks huge. It looks good. Like, I'm not a fan of Zendaya, so honestly, every time I see Zendaya, I'm just like, eh.
The movie, the good thing about it is it's such an ensemble cast.
Yes.
No one person, it doesn't look like any one person other than Timothée Chalamet.
Yes. And look, with everybody that's in it, I'll just give you my opinion. So with everybody that's in it, I really hope that it does well. I gotta agree though with William here. I don't think a movie like this in the current climate is going to do well financially. I think that it has it's got its fans, right? Fans of Dune are huge fans of Dune. They love Dune. They talk about Dune. I know people who talk about Dune constantly. Like, they're always about Dune. I mean, Johnny Pop, for example, he's a big Dune fan. I know Wonder Meg is a big Dune fan. Like, there's just other people, like, they're just really big on Dune. So I think that it'll do great among its fan base. It'll be interesting to see, though, if it can win over people in the general audience, because I think it's very highbrow. I did like the fact that they actually did, because this trailer is very, very hard, serious, like high concept stuff that it's like, whoa, I don't really understand everything that's going on here, but okay. And then I was glad that they put at least like a joke in there, right, from Jason Momoa, which if you're gonna do it, like, Jason Momoa was the good person to do that.
And then the one with Josh Brolin being like, smile.
I am smiling.
Yeah. So, so that's good. I hope it's enough for them to find a general audience for this, because I think that might be the hard thing for this movie going forward, is whether or not it can find that kind of audience and actually do well at the box office. You know,
and if it does-
not just because this is going to get great critical reviews.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the people who love it are going to love it. I'm wondering if it's going to have the legs to be able to be. And how much does anybody know how much this costs to make?
It's in the 200. I had it pulled up when I had to.
Give me a second.
Oh,
pull it up.
Yeah, it's gonna be in
you know
the
what's
200
interesting
mil.
is, well,
That
like what was
could
interesting
be the
was,
death of it. That could be the death of it because to make something that's this highbrow and looks this good, it's going to take that, right? I mean, and especially for the source material. But I don't know that movie's going to make enough.
$165 million.
That's pretty cheap, actually.
That is really cheap, actually. That is really cheap considering what I'm looking at there. So you know what? Maybe it will. I don't know though that it'll. You know,
here's two things that might help it.
I hope so. I really hope so.
What they did differently, and they learned from Blade Runner, is when they put Blade Runner 2049, they just put the ambiance of Blade Runner out without giving you what was the movie about. Why should I go see this movie? The story in Blade Runner 2049 is very compelling, but they never put that out. And even when we were promoting the movie, we never got what it was about. We knew Harrison Ford was in it, but see, for a Blade Runner fan, that's all I needed. But for a general audience, they never put their hand out to the general audience to make that connection that we already had. In this movie, they're giving you a basic premise and a basic structure of what it's going to be. It's political intrigue, and it's war, and it's science fiction. That's a hell of a lot more that they did for 2049. Also, another thing is the box office. Even though I don't think it's going to make a lot in the box office as far as like a blockbuster or anything else, the difference is what's being measured as a win these days is different because if it gets a lot of views on HBO Max, that leverages money. So so it's a different world. But like I said,
and David Dasmalchian will have a good little 3 months if both his movies he's in do well.
Yeah, and like I said, once Oscar buzz goes around, then you start getting re-release because a lot of people go see Oscar movies once they've been nominated because they want to see what was the best movie. So that's why you see a lot of the re-releases after a movie's already been out. Even if it's been on DVD, like some of those movies that go to DVD immediately, depending on when the movie is released, they will re-release movies in limited release to capitalize on that money.
Yeah, like I said, I think
there's ways, but I think that they decided that. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, I think, like I said, I agree with you. I think that it'll do very, very well amongst the people that are excited about it. It'll just be interesting to see if it's able to bring in enough to cover what they did. But like you said, we live in a different world now where that, if it's on HBO Max, it's going to be looked at differently. If it has a lot of people watch it on HBO Max, they look at the success rate differently, right? So, like Black Ops said here, what's up, man? Says decent margin for profit. There is. If it's only $160 million, I mean, there's a lot of room for profit if the movie does well at the box office. But it's going to have to make some money, and that's
155 minutes. That might be the one thing in a theater wise that might because like I said, that long
155 minutes. Is that what you said?
155 minutes. So how many times can you play it in the theater? That's the thing. And so
just north of
your money.
Ryan here says it won me over. I don't see why this movie can fail, or who would not see it in theaters. It's the same reason. But it's the same thing. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you, it's like being somebody on the outside who like I still have yet to see Blade Runner. Okay,
same.
But it's not because it's
2049. You mean
either? I've never seen Blade Runner. I have never seen Blade Runner.
Is such a niche thing more than most people think it is. It's like it's a cult hit.
I can't hear this right now.
People don't understand that.
Well, hold on. It's not because I have anything against Blade Runner.
No, of course not.
And I love Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford is one of my favorite actors of all time. The thing is, I've just never gotten around to watching Blade Runner, and now I feel like everybody tells me, well, there's not a bad version of Blade Runner, but it's like there's like all these.
And the first one was bad.
Okay, well, you understand what I'm saying though? People have told me, because I'm like, well, which version should I watch? Well, just any. It doesn't matter.
International.
They're all good. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So like, I get all this. I'm just telling you from an outsider. I want to watch it, but I don't want to waste my time when I watch it. And I don't have any friends who are close to me who are really into Blade Runner, right? So I think Johnny Pop is. So maybe I'll have to watch it with him or something. But the thing is, I've never had anybody around who's like, yeah, let's watch Blade Runner. I love Blade Runner. And so it's like DL said, I think it's a lot more niche than people think it is. And Dune is even more so because that is like so far out there that it's like, the fans that are of it, they love it. They've ingested it. They take it in and they just want all they can get. I mean, and from what I've heard, people don't really care for the original movie. Is that right?
The original movie is kind of horrible, but in the funniest ways.
Okay.
It's 80s. It's 80s. It bleeds, screams, and craps 80s. You look at it, it's got Sting. It's bad cinematography. It's bad acting. Not that Kyle MacLachlan is great, but that's probably.
And see, I've never seen the original movie either, and I've never read the book.
I saw that
in the miniseries as well.
Yeah, well, I've never seen the miniseries either.
Yeah, I was on Sci-Fi Channel.
So that's just kind of like my thing. Like I remember growing up always thinking that it looked weird. Like it didn't. Yeah, like growing up in the 80s, like I never felt that it looked cool. Like some of the other sci-fi that I loved, it just always kind of looked weird to me. And so I just never got around to watching it, and it was never a thing.
Looks palatable. Like I think for a lot of people, I think it looks a lot more palatable than something like the '80s Dune. I can't speak to the sci-fi.
It looks like it's better paced.
Yeah, I can't speak to the sci-fi miniseries, but definitely it looks smoother, and also doesn't help the fact that like they tried to stuff all of the first Dune book into a 2 hour 45-minute movie.
Oh,
yeah. And you felt it. You felt
really?
It was such a sloppy movie because if you knew where they were going with it, they were there really quick. There's no spacing in that movie to really care about that movie. They loaded it with stars at the time, and it was bad. But this right here looks like an epic. It looks like an epic that is large. That what he does with movies is he makes these big, large atmospheres so that you have to take them in a way. It's like looking at when like a big blue sky in a whole different way. Even though you see the sky every day, when this director does something with it, he does something different. When he put Vegas in Blade Runner 2049, the way he made Las Vegas look, it was haunting. And that's what he does. He has a vision, but unfortunately, it's a long vision in an era where we have short minds. Yeah. So, and I'm hoping that people are like, you know what, I'm going to give this a shot. Because
I hope so too. I really do. I hope that people give it a shot. I'm going to try to give it a shot, and
let me know when you're ready for Blade Runner, man.
Okay, I will.
So we'll talk this, and then we'll talk Snake Eyes.
So the main thing that I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to get everybody's take on real quick is, and we talked about it a little bit, but I want to get into actually what this is. Michael B. Jordan developing his own Black Superman project for HBO Max. A few months ago, when it was announced that J.J. Abrams and I can never remember his first name, but Coates was going to be writing.
Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Okay. Yes. I always want to. I don't have it in front of me. But anyway, so the thing is that it was talked about back then. Well, Michael B. Jordan said, "No, I'm not interested in doing that." This kind of, I've seen some people say, "Well, Michael B. Jordan was lying." No, it doesn't sound like that. It sounds like he was directly talking about that project. He wasn't interested in that project because it sounds like he felt about that project the same way a lot of other people feel about that project. But it says a writer is currently working on a script for a Val Zod limited series, according to sources. Michael B. Jordan and his production company, Outlier Society, are developing their own Black Superman project for HBO Max that centers on the Val Zod incarnation of the character. Collider has exclusively learned. Sources say that Outlier Society has hired a writer who is currently working on the script, though we were unable to ascertain their identity. Though it was initially unclear whether the Val Zod project would be a movie or a limited series, sources have since reached out to clarify that as of right now, it is in fact being written as a limited series that Jordan will produce and possibly even star in. I would hope that he would star in it.
Yeah, he's good.
He's got. I mean, he's got the look for that character.
Like Jarbo was talking about the other night, like comparing it to when Michael B. Jordan was in Chronicle. You know,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He was great in Chronicles. So, it says here the research clarified that it's going to be with him possibly starring it, though he has not yet officially to commit on the latter front. It says, as previously reported, J.J. Abrams and his company Bad Robot are set to produce a Black Superman movie for Warner Brothers that is expected to follow the Kal-El Clark Kent version of the character. Though Clark Kent is traditionally depicted as white in the DC comics, the character will be played by a black actor in the Bad Robot movie, which will likely be directed by a black filmmaker, as Abrams is simply expected to produce. Author and cultural critic Tahisi? Ta-Nehisi Coates is already hard at work on the script for that project. Okay, so I said a few months ago, this is what I'd be down with. This is what I was hoping would be the outcome of having a Black Superman movie. I have no issues with this. As I said before, like because I took a lot of, oh, you just don't want a Black Superman. No, it's not that at all. It's tell a good story, tell a story that makes sense. This makes sense. This is the way you should go. If you're going to make a Black Superman movie, this is the way that you should go. And it's nice to see.
I'm just going to quickly answer Ange here in the chat talking about Michael B. Jordan and Ta-Nehisi Coates. Michael B. Jordan is producing the Val Zod limited series. Ta-Nehisi Coates is writing the script for the Black Clark Kent movie. That J.J.
That's
Abrams
supposedly happening.
That's never going to happen, by the way. But hey,
right,
irrelevant to the statement. But they're involved in two separate projects. So like it's not. We don't know about a writer or anything yet for the Val Zod series, but yeah. Anyways, continue with what you were saying there, Enos. Just wanted to answer that question.
So I've heard though that like because my original thought was that other announcement might have been a BS announcement as well to counter the Ray Fisher stuff, right? Just to get that out there, like, hey, we're gonna do a Black Superman movie. We're not racist. See, we're not racist. We're gonna do this Black Superman movie. Although I've heard though that J.J. Abrams is none too happy about this information here about Michael B. Jordan developing his own Black Superman, because it seems, even though they're different characters technically, there's a lot of people, let's be honest, who are just going to hear Black Superman and they're just going to, be like, oh, it's Black Superman 1, Black Superman 2. Like, what? How does that work, right? Because they don't understand the lore, they don't understand the story, and they don't understand that it's two separate characters. But I guess I'll go to you and William first, Nerdy. When you see this, you've known what's gone on with all this production and stuff, and we did videos about this, a couple months ago. We talked about this in depth and everything. Does this give you a sigh of relief? Do you think that now that other project is done, do you think that they'll try to push with both just to prove a point? And what do you think this does for the possibility of Henry Cavill still being Superman?
I mean, so I echoed the same things that you were saying before, Enosh, of how, like, when they announced the first one, I kept saying, like, oh, like, you have Calvin Ellis and Val Zod. Why aren't you just simply using those? Because that just makes sense. So, and with that in mind, like, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Like, Michael B. Jordan as an actor, he's very good. And I think if he stars in it, then I think it could be something quite quality, And I hold on strongly to the idea that J.J. Abrams and Coates' Black Clark Kent movie just isn't going to happen. I strongly believe that it won't. Just because, like, that has failure and development hell written all over it. Because, like you said before, like, almost nobody is interested in that type of story. Like, you have other versions of the character, you have other African-American characters you can make movies about, instead of simply just, like, changing ones just to simply, try to send a message. And as far as Henry Cavill, I mean, I said on Twitter today that Val Zod being a character you focus on actually at least somewhat makes sense, because you've already established a connection, right, between General Zod and Superman in Man of Steel. So, like, if you're an intelligent studio, which again we know what we're talking about here in the form of Warner Brothers, you would try to connect
about
that.
The Goyer thing?
Oh,
I haven't even talked about that. I'll pull that up. I'll pull that up. Yeah.
Yes, do, because I have words about that as well. But, like, if you're a logical studio, you'll find a way to connect that to Man of Steel and General Zod in that way to create some intrigue, to create some connectivity in your universe that would actually, help fans to feel like they're enveloped in a universe rather than just simply being thrown stuff and expected to just digest it right away, So I think this makes a whole lot more sense. I do think it's kind of interesting that they want it to be a limited series on HBO Max instead of maybe doing it theatrically or whatnot. That part is a little iffy, but I think it's a much better idea than the originally proposed movie that they were talking about with J.J. Abrams and Coates. Much better.
Yeah. What do you think? Before we take a look at this David Goyer situation? Because I forgot all about that. I was going to do a video on that and I never did. So that's perfect.
You're welcome.
Right. Thank you.
I don't think it's a response to Ray Fisher at all. I as much as we know that situation, the general audience just doesn't regard that as anything that they even know about for the most part. Two, I don't think the J.J. Abrams things was ever going to happen or it was ever official. I think it was a weather balloon that was floated out to see how it would be received. I think both of these ideas were weather balloons that were put out, and they were going to pick the one that had the best response. Hopefully it's this one. I also see people saying that, well, why don't they use other established Black characters? Well, they want to make money. And as much as I regard Static X, and you're not going to put $200 million behind that. It's just not going to happen. How you feel about something in the reality of financing and money, this just wasn't going to happen. It being on HBO Max, I don't think that is a significant part, other than that's the direction that entertainment is going to right now. There's just so much infinite more money to be made off of the streaming universe than there is in the box office when this is all transitioned. This is where this really belongs. The line of prestige is blurred between the box office and streaming now. I'm glad they're going with this version of it, because the previous version that they were coming out was offensive. I don't need you to retell Clark Kent's story in order for you to give me one that I can relate to. And I don't want a period piece in the 60s either. So I think that they intentionally leaked that out and wanted to gauge the response. And I think this is the idea that they go with. And this is money for them, because it has a potential for them to do what Black Panther did for DC or for Marvel, and that's inclusion. Like I was telling you before, we screen these movies, we do these surveys, and the percentage of Black folks that were coming out to see the superhero movies as we were handing them tickets and counting them in was literally maybe 8 to 12%. When Black Panther came out, it was 47. That was a huge jump, and that matters. That matters. I love this idea.
And when I think of a story that I'd love to see, and I'm a white guy, but it's a story I'd still would love to see because I'm just familiar with the characters. I'd love to see them do a proper live action Icon story. I really would.
Yes. Yeah. And also Michael B. Jordan is producing a Static movie, so if that does well, maybe they'll put some effort in making a Milestone universe. I really hope they do.
I wouldn't mind. I mean, heck, I'm trying to think if they did like a CG hardware series or something like that too.
So here's an interesting thought. Here's an interesting thought too. You know something different between this and the last Black Superman stuff is when the announcement came out for the other stuff, it was, hey, we're going to do a Black Superman movie, right? I see a lot of people talking about it like this. I'm all for a Val Zod Superman.
Mm-hmm.
You notice the difference there?
It's yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, DL.
Huh? Oh, I was disagreeing with you. Like, yeah, there's a huge difference with that because nobody wants the Black Clark Kent. No, we want new characters.
That's things where Val Zod actually has a name. Mm-hmm. It actually has a face. It actually has a history. Than just saying, well, we're just going to throw out Black Superman. Well, that doesn't mean anything to anybody. There's no connection with that to anybody.
And plus, if you look at Earth 2, like the story that Val Zod came from, right? This is a world where Clark Kent has died. He dies in issue 1 of Earth 2. And so to have basically the story is about kind of the world rebuilt, like sort of rebuilding a super team after Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman die fighting the Apocalyptians invading Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got, the Flash and Green Lantern and Hawkgirl and Atom Smasher and all these superheroes coming together to form basically a new version of the Justice Society. And Val Zod was part of that. And seeing like the new version of Superman and a new version of Batman to kind of try and fill the shoes, not to kind of substitute, but to say the world needs this world needs something like that. And to be able to just try and occupy that, I thought was a really interesting idea.
So here's the David Goyer thing. for anybody who did not hear about it, we're getting ready to get into this.
Hollywood Reporter originally broke the story. If you guys want to also go
Hey
look
guys,
at
real quick, I'm gonna bounce and I'm gonna jump back on when I get in the car.
Okay. It was Hollywood Reporter that originally did it?
Yeah, Hollywood.
Okay.
If you scroll down,
Is there a link to Hollywood?
There's right there. CTHR there. I'm not sure if they linked to it, but yeah, Hollywood Reporter.
They don't have a link. Well, we'll get the story here anyways. Yeah, either way. This is Screen Rant, but anyway, so
not bad, but just
so WB gave Man of Steel writer ridiculous. Well, I don't know. Is the Hollywood Reporter one better?
I think it's just it's not that it's better. I think it's just it's kind of
because that's not what came up when I
just like going direct. Like if because I know that this is being interviewed. Like it's a direct interview from with Goyer for the Hollywood Reporter. I just like going there. Like I don't think you need to, but I just like going there because you get more information, you get more context because it is kind of the primary source in that sense.
Well,
if you want to just stay here and do this, that's fine.
Well, hold on. I'm trying to punch this in.
But yes, to answer Andrew real quick in the comments, yes, they are bringing. They have started a brand new 2021 milestone line. They're doing a new Static Shock, a new Icon rocket, and I believe a new hardware as well. Yeah, you can double check it on. If you quickly Google DC milestone returns, you should be able to find sort of something. As a matter of fact, Dennis Cowan's actually directly involved in the new Static Shock. So
David Goyer from Michigan, by the way.
Yeah,
sweet.
I think the problem I'm going to have with this though is he doesn't just talk about.
It's exactly it's a lot of things.
There's a lot of stuff.
He talks about this. He talks about
So this is what we want to zero in. This is what we want to zero in. So I think it's fine. Okay,
this is a perfectly fine source.
WB gave Man of Steel writer ridiculous note about Superman's ending. Writer David S. Goyer says the most ridiculous note he ever received was from Warner Brothers executives when working on the DCEU's Man of Steel. According to Man of Steel writer David S. Goyer, one of the worst script notes he's ever received was from the Warner Brothers executives while making the DC Extended Universe's premiere film. As perhaps one of Hollywood's leading comic book aficionados, Goyer has received story credit on everything from Blade and Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy to Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. He and director Zack Snyder's work on Man of Steel launched the DCEU before the fallout of Justice League. I love the fact they call it Justice League.
They do.
Yeah, they do. They call it Justice League right there.
Yeah,
that's
and
awesome.
shout out to David Goyer anyway, because even though, again, I don't have to think about Jeff Johns as a human being, but he and Johns worked together on bringing back JSA in the 90s. And so anytime I get to talk about the JSA is always a good thing.
There you go. Okay, so here it says, Man of Steel's story was originally conceived by Goyer and Nolan, Christopher Nolan. A lot of people don't realize that. Everyone
forgets
they blame Zack Snyder for everything they don't like in Man of Steel, and they forget that this story was not necessarily written by Zack Snyder. But anyways, while working on The Dark Knight Rises, after pitching the idea of a contemporary Superman, Nolan handpicked Snyder to direct, signed on as a producer, and Goyer as its writer. In response to the success of the Dark Knight trilogy, Man of Steel adheres to its source material and attempts to ground it in reality, following Kal-El turned Clark Kent, Henry Cavill, as an extraterrestrial refugee finding his place among humanity. When General Zod and his other Kryptonians invade Earth, Superman is forced into revealing himself. I like this so far. That said, the brushstrokes of Superman's origin story, which even most casual moviegoers are familiar with, remains intact. Now there's
editorializing there. You can see it.
In a candid interview with the Hollywood Reporter, Goyer discussed his lengthy career and having to deal with plenty of script notes from executives. In addition to a note he received to put less magic in a Doctor Strange film.
Oh my gosh.
What? I'm sorry. Excuse me?
He wrote almost 2 decades ago. Goyer was asked the worst note he has ever received. I don't know. It's got to be pretty bad, right, guys? If you want less magic in a Doctor Strange film, right? What's worse than that, you ask? Let's talk about it. Turns out the ridiculous note was from Warner Brothers executives concerning Man of Steel's ending. Read what Goyer had to say below. One note I got was on Man of Steel, where the ending involves Superman utilizing the pod that he arrived in as a child in order to bring down General Zod's ship. The note we got from the studio said, "You have to change that." We asked why. They said, because if Superman uses that pod and it's destroyed while saving the city, how is he ever going to get back home to Krypton? There was just this long pause, and we said, Krypton blew up. You saw 30 minutes of it. Sometimes filmmakers will talk about studios being a pleasure to work with. Other times, stories like Goyer support a stereotypical jaded view of the entertainment industry because Superman's entire origin story revolves around the fact that he's sent to Earth after his planet was destroyed, something that's stressed numerous times throughout Man of Steel, including everything involving Russell Crowe's Jor-El and General Zod's conflicting philosophies. This note for Warner Brothers is pretty deplorable. It paints a picture of executives only being interested in CGI spectacles rather than plot or character or other and only exacerbates Warner Brothers' reputation in the wake of Zack Snyder's Justice League on HBO Max. On a lighter note, literally, Goyer also talked about the oddities of his writings were encouraged when adapting Isaac Asimov's Foundation for Apple TV, which reinforces the narrative that streaming services treat creatives better. It's worth noting that Goyer's Superman was divisive in 2013, but still went on to gross over $668 million at the worldwide box office. Still, WB's revolving door of leadership ultimately fractured the DCEU in attempts to imitate the MCU. Despite the Snyderverse being abandoned, fans hope to one day see Cavill back in the red. Supposed to be cape, not cap. However, Goyer, who's currently working on Netflix adaptation of Neil Gaiman's Sandman, is mostly out of the loop regarding a Man of Steel sequel. Guys, can I just tell you this? Listen, we talk a lot about Warner Brothers. We really talk a lot about Warner Brothers and Dawson. You know, tomorrow we got the Sunday podcast, right? And all I got to say is, I might have to put something together for this because this has got to be the absolute, like we do these little skits and stuff. And I got to say, this is the kind of thing that you would think would be a skit, Dawson.
Like, honestly, you look at this and you think there's no way anyone could be this dense. Anyone could be this dumb. Like, even if you don't know the history of Kal-El Superman, even if you don't know the comic history of Krypton blowing up and him coming to Earth as a baby and being the last son of Krypton, literally one of his names that he's called, right? Even if you don't know that, it's in the freaking movie. It's established in the first 30 minutes of the dang thing. And I swear, I put it on Twitter and Instagram. Warner Brothers apparently thought that E.T. the Extraterrestrial and Superman were the same character because you have to send them both home to their planet at the end of the movie. It's just like, what in the actual hell? Like, how is a studio that owns the IP for Superman not understand that Krypton blows up?
Oh, I know. Hold on.
I don't have enough yachts. Get me a bonus.
That's why.
You got to play the Brian clip. You got to play the Brian part.
Which one is the Brian? I think
the slapping.
Yeah, I know, but I always forget. Let's see. Is it this one?
Hey, man.
That one. Okay.
Got shotgun this bonus over here. Come on.
No, it's
Because
this
you're
one.
right, a bonus. It's a bonus.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It's the Robin of Locksley bonus, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
Robin of Locksley, give me a bonus.
I need to get more cigars and smack my secretary on the ass.
This is more idiotic than Superman. This is more idiotic than Superman leaving the Earth and seeing if Krypton is still alive. Oh, wait, that happened. Thanks, Brian.
Oh, being gone for 5 years, you mean? And not telling anybody like why he left or anything like that?
And abandoning his kid.
Yeah, what the?
Cherie's like, you saw the first 30 effing minutes. Yes. Like,
and then also, Angie brought up a good point that pod could only fit a baby.
You ain't wrong.
It was designed for a freaking baby.
How?
Yeah. Not
I'm sorry.
30-year-old man.
I'm sorry. If it was me, I think I would have literally gotten up and slapped whoever said that. I swear to God. I'm sorry, but that right there, you know what? No. How in the ever living good Lord, I would have thrown him out a window. I swear to God, I just
it's like
Superman himself can't take it.
It's like, seriously, how can you be the owner of the character Superman for over 40 years?
No. Oh, Warner's, yeah. Warner's at that point about 40. I'm thinking, but the character at that point had been around for about almost 75.
Everybody, look.
Like, even if you haven't read comics, you know the history of the character.
That's what I'm saying. People in parts of the world that are unindustrialized. Like, you take the Superman S, you take the Superman shield to different parts of the world that are literally like tribes and places that don't have much exposure to the outside world. There's two symbols, literally two symbols that you could take almost anywhere in the world and most people will recognize somehow. The number one is the cross.
Of course.
Yeah.
The cross. The number two is Superman's shield. People understand that. Can tell you, like, in the last 100 years, this character has meant that much that literally it's been reproduced. It's been put out there so much that people recognize this thing across the planet. Everybody knows. I mean,
Everybody knows.
I swear to God.
Everybody knows.
All I'm guessing is that executive, like, before going into that office, just did a big, huge pile of drugs.
I swear, again, a studio owns a character for 40 years. A character exists for about close to like 80 or 90 years, right?
Yeah.
And yet you don't understand the basic concept that Krypton is destroyed and there's no way to go back to it because it's gone. It is a blown up planet. He's literally called the last son of Krypton. Why do you
expect them to know that? They don't know that Krypton blew up, and you expect them to know that he's called the last son of Krypton?
I'm just saying.
They're probably like, why aren't you calling it Superman? What's Man of Steel? Like, he looks like a regular guy to me. Like, what? This isn't a robot movie.
With respect to the last son of Krypton, yeah, I guess he was technically that could work because he is the last born son of Krypton.
What the heck, man? What? Like I don't even understand this. Ryan Hartwell here with a $5 super chat says, I just want to thank you for having me on despite my faulty connection, dude. Ryan, you are welcome anytime, bro. I love you, man, and I always love our
awesome talking with you.
Yes, man. So, dude, you are absolutely welcome anytime. But yeah, I don't understand. Like, this is so far.
David Goyer had to say it instead of some other executive. Like, apparently, no other executive knew the answer to that in that room, or if there was a meeting. Like, dude, seriously, like, none of the rest of them looked at their colleague like, "Wait, hold on."
My guess is it was the person who probably had the largest stake or it was the highest position of the executives because they probably just didn't want to say anything to embarrass their boss.
This brings me physical pain.
I just can't.
Yeah,
I lost brain cells.
Feel that.
Did you catch Ryan Cinematics' super chat before that? The $2 super chat.
No, I did not. I'm sorry, I did not. Thank you so much, Ryan. Everything's canon cinematics. $2 super chat says this is laughter and depressing. I had right. Yes, he says I have no words, dude. I am so.
I just couldn't help laugh. I just kept laughing because I was like, because at first I thought maybe it was a pitch. Hang on a second. Pardon me. I've gotten muted in time. I thought it was a pitch at first because I thought like maybe they were pitching the thing and maybe they just couldn't. They were going through the outline and it just for whatever reason, Krypton's explosion was not done. Like was not explained. If they saw 30 minutes of the movie, I'm assuming it was probably towards the beginning of the film. Krypton still goes boom in those first 30 minutes.
Yeah. Takes with the entire freaking screen. And you know what? This goes to show the difference between Marvel and DC right now. Marvel has Kevin Feige, who is a massive comic book fan. He understands the lore, and he loves explaining and talking about the different comic book characters and different source material. And that's why Marvel's successful, because they rely on the source material. They take some liberties with some things, but overall, they still give you the comic book feel by staying true to some of the most important things. But then you have Warner Brothers over here with executives that don't understand that Krypton, the planet Superman is from, blew up, and there's no going back. And that's why the Kryptonians in the movie wanted to terraform Earth to form a new Krypton. Not because they just wanted to expand, because they wanted their people to survive.
If you
and
could
have
go
a
back to
planet live
Krypton,
on.
why would you terraform Earth?
I know.
Like, seriously, I love what Luke Bro here says. He says, Enosh, we're dealing with the WWF in your house era in WB. We're not getting Stone Cold anytime soon. Vince McMahon, keep pushing, Sean. Keep pushing, Sean. Yes, Cherie's right. You can see it with your own eyes. And yes,
the planet blows up on screen in the center of the screen.
Life, you're absolutely right.
Split in half.
These are the same people. These are the same people that argued with Zach about why Clark had to grow up on a farm in Smallville. They
Why
wanted
can't he be
him
from Chicago?
Why can't he be from Chicago? What? Like
What?
Seriously, and these are also the same people. Like, look, you got to understand.
Who was it that mentioned the Terrio notes?
We talk a lot about Warner Brothers, right? And people will come at us all the time. I know people have come at you, Dawson.
Warner
People
Brothers
come
isn't
at
that
me.
bad. It's not that bad. It's like,
They're not that bad.
Do
You guys
now? Do you
they're a
see
movie
the crap we
studio.
have to deal with?
They're a movie studio. You need to leave them alone. All you guys talk about is Warner Brothers, and you have bad things to say about them. And I'm just like, you see something like this, and look, this is beyond anything, okay? Because look, I don't expect every executive to simply just know everything about Superman or everything about it.
Right.
This is a fundamental thing, right? And the thing is these are the people, folks, who are making executive decisions over people like Zack Snyder, telling Zack Snyder, well, you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, why not? Well, because we want him to be able to get back to Krypton, right? We got to be able to do a sequel. He's going to go for the weekend. It's going to be called Weekend at Krypton's. Like, seriously, like, Superman's going to die, but then we're going to like have like Batman and Wonder Woman take it back.
Sunglasses on Michael Shannon's dead body and
Michael Shannon died. Weekend at Zod's. Weekend at Zod. They're going to go back to Krypton. They're going to take Zod back to see
the
his family.
doomsday of a lifetime, you know.
I just
gonna have him partying, you know. Got the shades on here, you know.
Like, at this point, if someone that from the outside looking in doesn't understand just how bad DC fans have it as far as the executives in charge, their favorite IPs, movies, do you see now?
No.
Do you see how bad it is?
Everything the general does is for the good of the party.
But like that comment you brought up, Enosh, like, these are the same executives that kept trying to tell Zach that he wasn't doing what he needed to do. And also, like, people kept saying, like, oh, the executives obviously didn't like what Zach was doing, so obviously what he was going to do was bad. It's like, no, these executives clearly don't know what they were talking about at all in any way. These are the same executives, mind you, that wrote the first script of BVS, which involved Batman branding Lex Luthor at the end of the movie, making it so he didn't learn a dang thing throughout his entire journey. These are the executives that we have.
I could just listen to Chris Terrio talk for 2 hours about movies. I really could, especially because some of the stuff that he did with Warner's is fun. But I just love to just hear him talk.
We have actual footage of David Goyer listening to this executive. This was somebody just sent this to me. Actually, it's this is an exclusive. It might have been sent by David Goyer himself. Right now, yeah. You want the exclusive? Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
This just in. An exclusive from David Goyer sent to me. Actual video. He was filming with his phone. Apparently, he had shaved his head completely that day and was sitting there at the board table when the executive said that. Here he is right here.
Right. I'm certain that's how it felt. Staring at him like,
well,
dude.
either that or this.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. May God have mercy on your soul.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Oh.
That's well. And then of course the executive looked at him and just went,
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
Oh God.
That was probably Kevin Tsujihara thinking that.
Kiki Sphincter here with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you,
What's up,
Kiki.
Kiki?
Says, Enosh, you see that
TDK clip.
TDK clip from Suicide Squad? No.
The detachable kid.
It was funny, man. It was
Yeah.
Funny?
Yeah.
I think it was funny.
This is a
Like, it
character-
took me off guard, man.
Dawson, this is a character who in the comic books is known as arm fall off boys. So
I
literally
don't
anything's
care.
possible.
It was the dumbest thing I have ever seen in my entire
That's
life.
why I loved it.
I'm glad that
That's
they're
why I loved
embracing how
it.
silly this character is. I wouldn't have.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I wouldn't have took it seriously.
Hold on a second. I'm
if
going to
they
look
were
at it
trying
real
to play
quick
it
right here.
straight.
I pulled it up, so I'm gonna look it up here. First, I've got an ad.
This comes from a guy who loves Nathan Fillion. I love Nathan Fillion and everything that he does. But when I watched that clip, I'm sorry. I sat there thinking, okay, now I'm
right now.
what the hell.
Starting right now. Start right now.
What really made it funny for me was Harley's reaction. It's like, what?
That's the only
Like,
funny thing
what
about
the-
it. That's the only funny thing about it to me. Is her reaction.
Just seeing the other just floating there, trying to sneak through like that.
He's slapping the soldier.
Just seeing the bones hanging out of the socket, like everything I needed. I know.
Am I really the only one that didn't think that was funny at all?
Yes.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
dude. That's pretty funny. I mean, look,
I'm sorry,
you know what? You know,
Okay, let me explain myself because I'm the minority.
It's just a
Okay.
different look. Hold on a second. I gotta turn this up. Okay, so I will just explain my liking it. It's just funny. It's a comedic thing. I don't like. Can I just say I don't want every DC film to look like this, because if every DC film looks like this, I will not go see DC films. I would literally not go see DC films if every DC film is just going to be this way. Suicide Squad, for me, I have a completely different view of. That I feel like if these things like Starro, for example, like William will go on about how Starro is like one of the most serious, crazy. To me, Starro has always been like this kind of crazy psychedelic character that like I haven't really got. But I know that Starro is in the comics, he's supposed to be taken seriously, but I just don't see how you do Starro in a serious tone. Like you couldn't put Starro in like Batman v Superman, for example. You'd be hard pressed to be able to do it. I'm just saying.
Farthest
Okay?
you could-
That's
the farthest
arguable
you could
because
do.
they took him seriously in the animated show. Like they actually treated him like a
That's true.
threat.
Well,
Like in
yeah, but
Batman
he showed up
Beyond,
for like,
right?
but he showed up for like 2 seconds though, and they beat him though.
In Batman
well,
Beyond,
nice.
right?
explain.
So,
In
so I'm
Batman
just
Beyond.
so I'm just saying that. So like when I see this, like to me, we are Harley Quinn sitting back going, "What the f is that?" Right?
Literally, that is the only part of that clip that I thought was funny. So, like, my problem is, like, look, I understand it's going to be a comedic movie. I understand that, and I'm fine with movies being comedic. My issue is there's so many things that are just dumb about that clip. First off, TDK stands up in the middle of a battlefield. Apparently, the soldiers that are going up against are terrible shots because he's just right there in the open. His arms go off, apparently, and his arms like float super slowly towards them. The soldiers just watch the arms come and still continue to miss TDK, and he just slaps them around. The soldiers just stand there and watch these arms smack them instead of doing anything. And then Harley Quinn's reaction is the only funny thing about it. And I love Nathan Fillion. Don't get me wrong. I love the guy. But that clip was so freaking dumb to me. I sat there thinking, do they think I'm this stupid that I would actually laugh at this?
You want the answer to that question?
Dawson, if we were fighting and then all of a sudden some arms came floating at you, wouldn't you be a little dumbstruck?
Confused.
A little confused?
Well, haven't they been fighting superpowered beings at this point? Doesn't that kind of come with the trait? Just shoot the guy.
Well,
He's
no,
literally just standing there
think
like this.
is- I think this is on Cordo Maltese. I think this is like just
He's
the
literally just standing there,
revolutionary-
and you can't
I need
shoot the
Dawson's
guy.
head on this.
I think
Shoot
this is
the
just
guy.
I think
Give
this
me
is just
Dawson's
the
head on this right now.
revolutionaries there.
I am. I don't like it at all. Yeah, I am salty because it sucks. It's stupid, and I don't like it. It's not funny. I don't understand. Like, I literally was on Twitter all day yesterday, and I saw these different people reacting like, "Oh, this is hilarious! This is hilarious! This is so funny!" I'm sitting there like,
Here's Johnny.
Okay.
Oh,
So I'm gonna
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Okay, I'm gonna get my RJ on. We probably need to see it in the context of the movie. Maybe maybe it'll work better.
No, it's never say never. Like I did that.
The spirit
But
of RJ lives on.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my
What,
RJ
you
on.
die on us? What
We
happened?
just gotta see how it plays out in the movie. You know, maybe how it's executed.
It's probably fine.
See, like,
But you
what
got
would
a
have made it
point,
more
Dustin.
funny
You
to
do
me?
have a point.
What would have made it more funny to me is if his arms like went just a little bit faster towards the soldiers and they actually like punched people around.
All right, hold on a second. You
Then I'd be like,
guys
okay,
keep
cool.
talking about this. I will be right back in just a second. I'll be right back.
Little faster and more intense, you know.
Yeah, just the arms going just a little bit faster than just simply meandering towards there, and then like punching the guys around, and then showing like, hey, that's actually kind of funny, but it's also kind of stupid. Like showing he at least has some purpose in the movie. Instead, he's just shown to be super meaningless because he's just simply smacking people and distracting people. That's literally all he does. It's just like, what? Why have him on a battlefield in Corto Maltese if that's all he's going to do?
Just be the diversion. Yeah.
You know what? Hey, maybe that's it. Maybe that's, you know what? These are either you die here, you lose time off your prison sentence, or if you run, we explode your head. So really not much of an option, I guess.
Like, again, my main issues are he's standing wide in the open. No one can shoot him, apparently. His arms like are literally moving like this. It's like, go just a little bit faster with a little bit more purpose. And maybe
faster, more
punch them
intense.
instead of smack them. Like maybe like I don't know, make a fist and bam, hit him on the jaw, knock him out. That'd been kind of funny to me.
I'm not lying. It was this part of me that was kind of waiting for the arm to float up. I don't know about you, DL, where it floats up on the side of the guy's thing, like the side of the guy's shoulder. Tap, tap. Guy looks over, punches him from the other side.
I actually would have loved that if that happened.
Yeah, that would have
I
actually
would've-
worked. But this was just like, it's like, are we 5? Is this a 5-year-old fight happening right now? Like, it's a battlefield. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
So is love,
You have
so-
a point. You have a point.
I mean, I'll respond to Lord Slug's comment saying the arms don't have a body to use full force punches. But, like, we're talking about a guy who can detach his arms. We're beyond reason and logic at this point. We are way.
Not only
if they're
does it
gonna go,
detach, it floats in midair.
like, yeah. So, like, if we're gonna go out
Yeah.
there, go completely out there and just have it punch the crap out of people.
Yes.
Like,
There's,
go
you know,
full retard.
You know, she's back, Melissa.
Right.
I'm back. Okay. I had to step out because I'll just in the room and I'll show them tomorrow on the show. But I got to show you. So these came in today, and
More cheesecake.
more cheesecake. Yes, unfortunately, thankfully, no cheesecake. I got the new Harley Quinn, which I gotta say, this likeness.
Seeing the disembodied King Shark legs is
It
just
is a little weird. It is a little weird to see King Shark's.
Really funny about that.
So it gives a new meaning to the detachable kid. If you got
brings new meaning to the phrase unfinished.
Can I just say though how great Margot Robbie is as Harley Quinn?
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree.
I'm sorry.
One of those,
that
one of
woman.
those performances, one of those actors where it's just like it was like she was born to play the role.
Tell you what, that woman can do no wrong for me in there. But Tiffany is actually going to put this costume together for Comic-Con. So we got that.
Comic-Con, is that your answer?
My answer?
Yeah.
For what?
No, the reason why she's building the costume.
That's why she's putting the costume together.
That's the reason you're sticking to it. Okay.
Yes. Here is Bloodsport.
That's
Now, I'm kind of a little disappointed because Bloodsport does not come with a it doesn't appear that he comes with an additional head.
Yes.
Where like you can and also I think it is a little strange that his colors are the exact same as Deathstroke's. Like,
yeah,
I think that's supposed to. I think that's supposed to be a red as opposed to an orange, and I think that's the problem. Is it just came out wrong?
Not that I've seen so far. Everything that I've seen, it's that color, man. It's that everything that I've seen it on. I've not seen it red on anything. It's been that color on everything.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I've got
the Deathstroke figure somewhere around here. But anyways, I mean, obviously the design is different. But I mean, look, they've got both have blades and stuff. And then of course there's 2 more detachable pieces for King Shark.
Does the helmet come off?
No. That's my problem with it is that
it doesn't even have like a replaceable head or anything.
No,
like
it doesn't. And the weird part about it is it doesn't have a replaceable head. And then look at the picture they used. So
no Idris Elba head.
Right. So to me, it's like, well, okay, but I would have liked to have gotten a detachable, removable head that you could put Idris Elba, or I get it. The helmets, a lot of times you can't do a helmet properly to put on it because of the size that the helmet would look weird, like a
maybe.
robot.
Yeah.
But okay, so there's that, and then then there's this one.
So that's one looks kind of decent to me.
Yep.
Like I said,
man.
And like I said, Desmulsion, assuming both movies do well, he'll have himself a good 3 months.
Yeah.
No, RJ didn't die. His spirit just lives on, and he's not here.
I want to answer Adam Burke in the chat. He asked if I'm going to see the Suicide Squad. I'm going to watch it on HBO Max when it comes out, because it's a same day release, right?
Yeah. Is it?
I believe so. Yeah. So I'll watch it on HBO Max.
Definitely going to see it because it is the day before my vacation ends, and I've literally movies have been like the theaters have been locked down in Ontario for months. So I just saw Snake Eyes today, so I'll be going.
Yeah.
To see
So we were talking about Wonder Bread He-Man last night. This thing right here reminds me of Wonder Bread.
Wonder Bread He-Man.
Yes.
Yeah, we were talking about Wonder Bread. He's in Masters of the Universe, Revelation. There's what's called Wonder Bread He-Man because there was a He-Man figure that was supposed to be like a mail away figure or whatever. His name is Wondar, and it was supposed to be.
You got it through like UPCs for Wonder Bread.
Yeah, it was. I think so. It was supposed to be like a promotional thing or whatever. That didn't, but it apparently didn't really exist. So they later created Wondar, but basically it was He-Man with dark brown hair, dark brown pants, and a black belt, and he had the armor from the character Zodak, and his name was Wondar. And so if you watched Masters of the Universe, when they go to Preternia and they show all the champions from before He-Man, there was Hero, there was Grayskull, there's the one guy with the dark hair. That's Wondar.
Okay.
I popped up out of my seat. Like, look, you know what? listen. We talked about this last night. I know not everybody has seen this, but listen, man, I am so happy with that show. But okay, so here is Polka Dot Man. I think he actually comes with some accessories. Look, he's got like this canister here or whatever. He's got his polka dots, and check this out. He's got his goggles, so you can actually create what the figure looks like. Imagine that. Isn't that cool? Mm-hmm. And then of course, just for even though he's not here, yes, we do love him. But this is for RJ. John Cena!
You have the drop.
Oh, you want the drop? Okay, hold on a second. I'll give you the drop along with me and Dawson. Hold on a second here. I had it on the wrong page. All right. And who is this character? John Cena! So he comes with
it's Butthole Man.
Yep, no gun.
Oh yeah, no gun, but a sword.
No gun. It's Peacemaker, who is known to have a gun. I'm gonna have to get an aftermarket gun, literally.
Yep.
And so, but he's on a watch list.
Yeah, but he comes with a sword. And Tiffany said it was funny. And he looks like he's supposed to, I guess. But Tiffany said it was funny because like our kids were into wrestling for so long.
Why is the container missing the action figure?
Can't see. But I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny because we've had wrestling figures around our house for so long. So it's actually weird to buy a John Cena figure because we had enough John Cena figures to field an army of Peacemakers. Apparently that's where all the dicks on the beach went. Apparently,
you also don't need to buy guns because he's got 2 right there.
Exactly. But the cool thing is there's only 4 figures to complete King Shark. So when I open these, I'll be able to complete King Shark. So there you go.
And
there
also
a
give
separate
William a
King Shark
conniption fit.
form?
What? I'm sorry. What was that, Dawson?
Isn't there also a separate King Shark that you can buy?
There is, but that's weird.
Yeah, he's
right?
the one that calls you a racist. Yeah.
What?
What?
No, he's the one that
Not
calls
walking
Dawson a racist. Dawson's a racist.
Oh yeah.
Tis true. Tis true. That King Shark doesn't seem to like Dawson too much.
Not that much at all.
Dawson is sexist.
Apparently I am, and with that,
Sexist.
and with that, I have to take off. That's
You got. I see. You probably got like better things doing, better things to see. Like right.
It's like a lot of different tentacles and like massive stomach. I still have no idea what we were talking about at that point. I have no clue. I was 5 when that came out. Okay? You have to play those close back to back. You just have to. I knew it as soon as it left my mouth. And that one as well.
And then mine.
Padman can get all the tickles, all of them.
You can just shove the drops in
that
for
was
you.
bad out of context.
Okay, keep telling yourself that, Dawson.
Pound it.
Buckethead is now on.
That's my favorite one.
Pound it.
Buckethead is now on WWE TV.
What?
Wait, what?
I'm just reading a comment. Like Buckethead, like the guitar player.
No. I think that's a different bucket. I think that's something else. But hey, Dawson, we love you. We're gonna be closing up here in a couple of minutes. TW is gonna give us his Snake Eyes report, and good, bad, and different. I really don't care. I mean, not. I care about TW. I care about TW. I'm the more I'm hearing from like legitimate GI Joe fans, the less and less I'm caring about Snake Eyes. So we'll see. We'll see if TW can convince me.
Yeah,
maybe he's not. Maybe he's going to tell us it's absolute garbage. Who knows?
Well, good luck to you on that one.
So I can review that one.
There you go. Dawson, have a great night. I will see you tomorrow, 3:30 p.m. Sir.
We're probably gonna do it around like 3:30 or 4. Yeah, we'll wing it as we usually do. It's good to see you guys.
Dawson's gonna need a nap.
Oh, of course. Love everybody in the lounge. Always gonna be here when I can. You guys have a good night.
Love you, bro. All right, man.
Yeah.
All right. So TW.
One eternity later.
Well, I didn't get the first part. Yeah, right. Closing up in a couple of minutes.
One eternity later.
Okay, so Gavin Cooley saw it, and he says it's a 5 out of 10.
Wow.
Oh boy.
But he is a jerk. That is what he is saying.
He says, but I am a jerk.
Nerds.
Okay. All right.
That one always gets me.
All right. So, well.
Who taught you how to do this stuff?
You, all right? I learned it by watching you.
All right. So TW, tell us all about Snake Eyes. No spoilers, I'm guessing.
Okay, yeah, no, I'll try and keep it as sort of professional review as I can. For a bit of
It's gonna be a little hard with such a crappy movie, isn't it?
No. It's not even that. It's for transparency, for the sake of the chat and the panel. I've never owned a single GI Joe toy. I never watched the original cartoon. I grew up watching a bit of GI Joe Sigma 6 when that was on part of the Fox box. But I really don't have much of I don't have as much of a connection as other people on this panel and other people in this chat may have. So really what I'm reviewing it as is from the perspective of basically a new guy coming into the franchise and
I thought it was interesting. I thought the first 20 seconds was interesting. I saw the first 20 seconds online, and I thought it was really weird that it started off like this.
Does your butthole itch?
That was weird to me.
20 seconds.
Does your butthole itch? Does it just ache?
I thought that was a weird way to start out a movie. I thought it was a weird way to start out a movie.
First the teasing and the crimping of the hair thing. Now that no. I just ate, sir.
Well, and then how Snake Eyes gets disfigured by the football.
Hey, you guys. Oh my no!
It's horrible.
Bradley, just to answer your question, he's asking if it's true that they showed the post-credit scene in the trailer. I don't remember watching the trailer, so if you have me on Twitter, if you want to DM me what the description of the post-credit scene you think it was.
Storm Shadow. Everybody knows that. Storm
What do you
Shadow.
mean?
Storm Shadow. The moment
Call
where
me Storm Shadow?
yeah, call me Storm Shadow or whatever.
What?
I
Are
don't
you
feel that that's like
kidding
sharing.
me?
I don't feel that that's sharing anything crazy because that's
Oh,
out
sorry.
there. Everybody's talking about that.
That is well, if it's in the trailer, then I feel that that's publicly available information.
Yeah,
Yes, that is the post-credit scene. That is the mid-credit scene. He is not referred to as Storm Shadow through the entire film.
You gotta be kidding me.
But like I said, to kind of put this in a bit of perspective, you've heard.
Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna be professional and let you.
You're being judged, Enosh. It is now Sunday.
That's hilarious.
But
okay, never mind. Okay.
To describe, I'm kidding, of course. But to try and break it down the best that I can, I felt one of my main issues. I'm going to try and break it down, like I said, as professionally as I can. The performances were actually really good. I will say that. Henry Golding did quite a good job as the character. My issue was Henry Golding does tend to slip in several scenes back into his native English accent, rather noticeably, at least to my ear. With respect to some of the cinematography, I feel it's not that they use too much handheld, but I feel that some of the handheld that they do, I feel that it is a little bit too shaky, at least for my eyes. It was really kind of driving me nuts.
So John Campea was right then.
What did Campea say about it?
So John Campea, when he first came out of the cinema, he said that his problem was literally everything is like this.
He actually shook the camera to show you.
Like he shook the camera and he's like, here's Scarlett walking down the hallway and everything's shaking.
That's not far off. Again, I will say the action was fine. It was sort of serviceable. Katana fights are always cool. It was cool seeing Iko Uwais in there as Hardmaster. It was really interesting though, just because I'm not familiar with Hardmaster as a character, but Iko Uwais I like from the Raid films. So I thought that was good. The film itself is relatively grounded, but there are a couple of moments in the plot that I felt were a little bit over the top for the kind of the nature that they were grounding it in. It kind of felt, as a guy who's never seen it, it felt like, or at least has a very small knowledge of it relative to, other people here. It feels like I'm kind of missing something. You know what I mean? Like sometimes when you're watching and it feels like it's simultaneously trying to be for the people who grew up with G.I. Joe and are familiar with Storm Shadow and familiar with obviously Snake Eyes. And, but at the same time, it also feels like it's trying to introduce people who are like a new audience to the G.I. Joe franchise. It kind of feels like it's almost failing on both fronts in that sense. There was a moment of fan service towards the end, which I'll describe in the back room if anyone wants to care about spoiler reviews, that I just felt was unwarranted. And so, in my opinion, if I were to give it a score, I know Gavin gave it a 5, I'd probably give it a 5.5. That's probably where I'd stick.
Because he was a jerk for a 5, and you only gave it a 0.5 more.
There you go.
And I'm not even
What the? There goes Santa.
I thought you were going to give it like at least a 7.
No.
Well, no, that didn't sound like a 7 review.
No. And like I said, I've given, for full transparency, you've heard how positively I've spoken of The Rise of Skywalker on this channel. I've given it narratively in a 6.5, but as an experience, as a fan of Star Wars from where I am, I give it a 7.5 or an 8. But I'm going to just try answering a couple of questions here in the chat that might pertain. I I'm gonna just ask them here. Like 187's asking, is Cobra Commander in it? Would you guys feel that would be discussing spoilers too much if I discuss whether or not he's in it?
I really don't care that much. If the Baroness is in it, then most likely, I don't know.
Well, the Baroness is in the trailer.
Yeah. So I'm like, Cobra Commander must be really close.
I mean, they literally say Cobra in the trailer, so something like that.
I will say this: you see Cobra, the logo, multiple times in the movie.
Okay.
There are references to Cobra. They reference that Baroness is part of, obviously, Cobra. But to go to the next question, Paul Smith, does Snake Eyes feel like a stranger in a foreign land? I feel that's part of his narrative arc. I don't think that's too much of a spoiler to say yes. Do they explain why he changes his hair color from blonde? I'm not sure, again, if that would be an appropriate spoiler. And Adam Burke, can someone clarify something for me? Is Snake Eyes supposed to be white? You guys can speak to the toys, at least for the Sigma 6, which I watched. He was white when I was growing up. Can you speak to the toys and to the cartoons that you watched?
I can speak for every incarnation of Snake Eyes ever. Literally every incarnation of Snake Eyes ever, he is a white guy. Okay. I would have been fine with them updating his story, because in the original story he was in Vietnam. He was injured in a helicopter accident involving, because him and Scarlet kind of had a thing for a while, and so he was injured in a helicopter accident where he cannot speak. He's mute, and his face was horribly disfigured. He is a blonde white guy, and that was always his thing. The reason why there was always the tension between him and Storm Shadow was this: he was found by the Hard Master because he broke into the Hard Master's place, and they actually got that right in the G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. I think was it Rise of Cobra or
Rise of Cobra
Retaliation? It was Rise of Cobra. Okay.
It was Rise of Cobra.
That was actually one of the things they got very right, was that the
I watched neither of those films.
Was that the Hard Master took pity on him because he was stealing. He was poor. He was a poor white kid, and he broke in, and the Hard Master took pity on him, brought him in to the Asakagi ninja clan. But the thing is,
they do actually use the appropriate name for Storm Shadow's clan. So they do use that.
I knew that they did that. But the thing is that this all happened when they were kids.
Yeah.
Okay, because they were trained up from kids. That's why they're both so amazing, because they were trained up from childhood. But the thing is Storm Shadow always hated Snake Eyes. He always hated Snake Eyes because Snake Eyes represented being a white devil welcomed into their ninja clan. And he hated that. Plus the fact that as Snake Eyes got older, Snake Eyes outperformed Storm Shadow. Because Snake Eyes always sat with the Hard Master, learned from the Hard Master, took everything that the Hard Master said to heart. Storm Shadow always felt that he was better than everybody else. Storm Shadow had too much ego. Storm Shadow felt that he was better than everybody, that he didn't need all of that, that he could do anything that he wanted, and that was the difference between the two of them. Now, what ended up happening was, and there's different takes on this part of the story. I believe there's some parts of the story where Storm Shadow actually kills the Hard Master, but the main story that was supposed to be was that the Hard Master is assassinated. Okay. It's made to look like Storm Shadow did it, which puts this
to look like Snake Eyes did it. You mean?
No, Storm Shadow.
No, Storm Shadow.
Oh, okay.
Not Snake Eyes. No, because that's what causes Storm Shadow to join Cobra. Because what actually happens is Storm Shadow knows that somebody in Cobra is the one who assassinated the Hard Master. Because see, the what is it? I'm drawing a blank on the name of the clan. It's the Esiaji.
Ashitakaga?
What was it again?
Ashitakaga?
Ashitakaga. Yeah, okay, so I've heard different pronunciations, so that's why okay. So the Ashitakaga ninja clan provided ninjas to G.I. Joe. right? They had a close connection.
Because I did some Googling after I
Yes.
watched the movie.
They
So
had
like
a
that's how you
close-
get the Ninja Force, right?
Yes, they had a close connection with G.I. Joe. Okay. Jinx is from that ninja clan. Obviously Snake Eyes, obviously Storm Shadow. There's others who trained there or whatever. But so they had a real close relationship with G.I. Joe because it was the 80s and ninjas were cool.
Yeah.
And so they started this whole ninja thing out of nowhere, right? So because look, Snake Eyes, when he was first presented, like he knew martial arts like crazy, but he was really a commando. Like that was his main primary focus was he was
which
a
was
commando.
interesting. Which was interesting when you explained that to me, because like I said, I grew up watching a bit of Sigma 6, and he was always a ninja. From that story.
Well, see that evolved. The first action figure, he's a commando figure, and then the thing is, then they slowly transferred him to being this full-on ninja, known as being a ninja. Because that first action figure, if you saw that first action figure, you'd never think he was a ninja by looking at him.
That. I was like, it was really interesting.
You'd never think he was a ninja by looking at him. But then the second figure, it's actually called Commando Snake Eyes, and he came with a sword in his backpack. Okay, and some Uzis. By the time they got to the third one, he has what looks like a soft ninja costume with 2 blades on the front, and he comes with like all kinds of ninja weapons and a machine gun, right? Because like he's kind of both. He's that crossover type of figure. But the thing was him and Storm Shadow then started butting heads because Snake Eyes thought that Storm Shadow killed the Hard Master. Okay, so Snake Eyes was going to take down Storm Shadow. Storm Shadow, though, knew that it wasn't him and went and joined Cobra, not because he wanted to be a Cobra, but because he was looking for the killer of the Hard Master, the real killer of the Hard Master, which turned out to be Zartan.
Okay.
Once that was finished, Storm Shadow left Cobra and joined G.I. Joe. Okay. And that's when he got a new costume, which was like long and flowing and had a hood and had these little gray spots all over it and stuff. And you see that sometimes. So he ended up joining G.I. Joe. And from that point, he was in G.I. Joe. But if you see old school stuff or in reboot stuff or whatever, they still have him with Cobra because everybody remembers this. Right?
Yeah, I remember the comics.
Yeah, but everybody remembers the iconic Storm Shadow with the snake or with the Cobra
logo.
You know, the Cobra thing. So, but the thing is that's who it is. But that was always Storm Shadow's issue with Snake Eyes was he was white. He hated him because he was white.
Okay.
That's the problem I have with this movie. It's not anything else, and I don't care. And usually I don't care about.
I'm not rebutting anything.
Yeah, I'm just explaining it for those watching. Usually I don't care about this stuff.
And then
usually I don't care about
this stuff. An American.
And then I'm just saying.
Usually I don't care about this stuff at all. But on this movie specifically, because I love this character so much, and because I love the lore and the story that they have literally built up over 40 years for this character, to just race switch this character just because he's supposed to be a ninja and apparently white people can't be ninjas. Okay, that's a product of 2021, and that is garbage. As far as I'm concerned.
And if you want me to discuss spoilers, at least for the panel, if you want me to discuss spoilers, I'll discuss those in the back room.
Just tell me though. He's got blonde hair?
What?
Somebody says, does he change his blonde hair?
Someone was asking if Henry Golding changes his hair to blonde.
Oh.
I don't think that's much of a spoiler. No.
Look, Adam, I'm fully on board with as long as it makes sense. I don't care if they change the race of somebody. Look, I've pointed this out several times about several different characters. I mean, like I said, Perry White, right, with
Lawrence Fishburne.
I never once think watching Man of Steel or BVS or any of that, like, oh my God, Perry White is white. Like, why is this? Why did they switch him? I never have thought that once because he plays the character of Perry White. I've never thought that about many characters.
I did before I see I did when I was younger, especially before I saw the portrayals. It was kind of like, oh, They're getting an actor of color to play Perry White. That's really strange. And then it was like, then they hired Lawrence Fishburne. And I'm like, oh, cool, one of my favorite actors. All right, this is probably going to
his
be great.
race wasn't never relevant to.
It was
his,
never relevant.
No,
to the character
never
anyway.
relevant. Never
It was
relevant.
Never relevant to the character.
But the thing is when you have a major plot point, I would have had no problem like you update his background where like maybe he served in the Middle East, right? You know, in the Iraq War instead of Vietnam, right? Because we're in 2021. You know, we're obviously not doing a period piece here. You know, I mean, we're getting far enough away where it's like
I'm going to discuss spoilers with you in the back room.
Yeah, we're just getting to a point where it's like I don't think that you can really do, unless you're going to do a period piece where it's set in the 80s, you're not going to be able to get away with doing a Vietnam story, right?
Yeah.
So that's fine. But as far as this idea of like, and here's the thing. There's only one place this comes from, folks. This doesn't come from a place of, hey, we want to tell a good story. Switching this out is literally, Golding is hot right now. He's an Asian actor. This has to do with ninjas and Asian culture. Let's throw this great Asian actor into this. I've said, looking at this, having not seen this yet, it seems like it would be a decent like ninja movie, right? Like it seems like it would be a decent action flick.
Which it is. If you look at it as a purely action flick, it is serviceable. I've said it's fine. I'll go watch it again. It would be on Paramount Plus or whatever it is on home media if it's available. But I wouldn't go see it again
in 45 days.
Yeah, I wouldn't go see it in theaters again. But that's me.
Yeah, I mean, if you're giving it a 5.5 and the chat's giving it a 5, like,
wow.
I'm probably going to hate it when I go see it.
Yeah.
And I'm a diehard fan. And
like I said, I'll talk about spoilers in the back room once we're done here.
Yeah, wow.
The funny thing about Storm Shadows, when I was reading the comics, he was an American. He was a Japanese American. He was a soldier in the army. He served with Snake Eyes. If you read the old Larry Hama stuff, when Larry Hama first brought him in, so they served, and then he went to train in his family's dojo. So he was actually an American. He was an Asian American. So that was a funny thing about it. And when you watch the other interpretations of him, there's kind of like no history of that. They don't really touch on that. Larry Hama did a great job of fleshing out these characters back then because you only saw a glimpse. What Sumbo and DIC did is they took the stuff that they could put on TV, but there was some really hardcore stuff. People died in the comics.
So I will say this: 187 sent me a video, and I watched the video 187, and I apologize if I must not have answered you, and I apologize for that. Sometimes during my day, I'm at work or I'm doing something, and somebody sends me something, and especially like if it's a video or something like I want to watch it because I want the information. So I apologize if I didn't write you back, because sometimes I think, well, I'll answer it like when I do a stream or something like that, right? Because it'll come up. So I did watch that video. What I felt about that video was this. Well, first of all, what's his name? Larry Hama didn't change it. Apparently Larry Hama, and I don't like the way that it was worded in the video because Larry Hama didn't change it. They went to Larry Hama, who for those of you who don't know who Larry Hama is, Larry Hama wrote the G.I. Joe comic books. Because G.I. Joe actually, the current G.I. Joe versus Cobra thing did not start as the cartoon. Okay, it did not start. I you know what you all should watch? If you have Netflix, go watch the Toys That Made Us. They go into the history of G.I. Joe, how it started, and I'm sure that there's probably another couple things. Like if you just look up G.I. Joe documentaries, I'm sure
look
there's
up Larry Hama. He lays it out for you.
Yeah, look up Larry Hama. But the thing is Larry Hama wrote the comic books because it started in the comic books first, and there were discrepancies between the comics and the cartoon. The cartoon was made more for kids, and there are some diehards that act like the cartoon doesn't even exist. They don't like the cartoon. To them, it will always be, and I've got some of the comic books here. It will always be just the comics.
The toys and the comics.
Just the entire run.
Some of them won't even do toys because the toys were kind of more based on the cartoon.
I thought the toys were first.
I know, but there's a lot. No. I'm not. No. No, see, because you're getting two G.I. Joes mixed up. The 60s had G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the old. I'm thinking
12
about the original,
G.I. Joe.
12-inch Joe.
That was first. Was first, but but there was no story behind it. There was no Cobra back then. There was none of that. It was just G.I. Joe was just your the boy version of Barbie, right? That
he was a G.I. and he was Joe.
Hawk came over though.
Yeah. So, but the thing is they looked for a way to bring this now into the modern day, the 80s, And so the thing was they came up with this plot for this battle between Cobra and G.I. Joe, and they started that in the comics. That started in the comics. Then they said, hey, we're going to put out this toy line. We need a big commercial for it. And this was before the government cracked down on children's programming and being able to basically use children's programming as half hour cartoons, right? So the thing was that they started the cartoons, and the cartoons became vastly popular, right? And so kids loved it. I loved it. I soaked it up. They started making the toys and everything, but the toys kind of more reflected the cartoon in many ways than they did the comic books, because the comic books were very gritty. People died in the comics, man. Like crazy stuff happened in the comics.
Died.
Oh, dude.
There's one character that was different from the that they kept in the comics when they came out with the toy was Flint. Flint looks exactly like he does in the comics. He does not look that way. If you look at the cartoon, he looks different in the cartoon. And the toy, because I remember getting him, he has a black shirt and he's different and dressed up, worn off the ring. And in the cartoon, he looks different. But other than that, they kept it. I mean, the cartoon, the comics were brutal. The Pit, when they killed all those G.I. Joes in like two issues. I mean, it was good stuff. And it lasted all the way up until the mid '90s, from 1982.
Yeah, I was looking at. I was looking at, and to show you kind of like the toys and how they are much for a younger audience, excuse me, and also for a broader audience, was the fact that you have two Joes. I didn't realize this, who were made after real life people.
Yes,
you had Sergeant Slaughter.
Well, yeah, Sergeant Slaughter. Yeah,
and then you had, of all people.
Well, it depends on where you're going with this.
The Fridge.
He wasn't the only one though. They had William the Refrigerator Perry. I've got multiple Sergeant Slaughter.
Like,
if you watch PLW wrestling, I have an ongoing match between all the different Sergeant Slaughters they made to be the definitive Sergeant Slaughter. That was never in the military, by the way.
It's been a while.
Sergeant Slaughter was never in the military. Sergeant Slaughter was never in the military. But it was the 80s, and he was that figure that was like pro USA, and it was wrestling. Exactly. So I had no problem with that. But yes, they made William the Refrigerator Perry, who never appeared in anything. He never appeared on the cartoon. He never appeared in the comic book.
It appeared in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but he never appeared in anything G.I. Joe other than you could send away for him, and that was it. That was that, and they made one figure of him that was a mail away figure that you had to send in. I think it was 7. It was either 5 or 7 proofs of purchases, which I did, and I got my William the Refrigerator Perry action figure, which they really made him look more muscular than he ever was. I can get that. It's like the figure's literally right there.
I know who you're talking about, though. I'll let you guys guess it, but I know if you think.
While I'm going to go grab that figure, I will let you guess who. Because one is actually
them already.
No, I didn't. One is actually
Leatherneck.
Leatherneck is actually based on one of the creators of G.I. Joe, one of the guys who were making the toys. That's where I thought you were going with that. It's actually made by one. It's actually it looks like Leatherneck looks exactly like one of the guys.
You mentioned him already. How about that? He's been mentioned in the last 5 minutes several times.
Has he?
Yeah, the one I'm thinking of.
Oh, maybe. Okay, hold on a second. I'll be right back. You guys go ahead and guess while I do this.
I would have no idea because I've never.
I'm thinking Tunnel Rat.
Tunnel Rat. Okay.
Tunnel Rat. He was a figure, and he was based on Larry Hama, who created the series.
And Larry, because Larry Hama was a Vietnam War vet, wasn't
he? Mm-hmm, yeah, and he created G.I. Joe: The American Hero.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. So that's who my guess is. He may have somebody else that I'm missing, but I knew that because when I first started collecting comics, it was back when G.I. Joe was first coming out. Yeah. And Larry Hama did another comic book called Nom. It was a really
the Nom. He did it for Marvel, right?
Yeah, he did it for Marvel.
I never read it, but I remember I saw someone at like Fan Expo one year had it, and I was really interested in it. Well, because it's like Sergeant Rock in Vietnam, right?
Yeah, but a little bit more rounded. Yeah, it didn't do too well because it was realistic. He also did a lot of stuff with the Punisher, which was another Vietnam vet at the time.
Exactly. Have a good night, by the way. I was just heading out. Have a good night, man. It was good seeing you. But yeah, go on.
Okay. Yeah, I'm guessing it's Larry Hama.
Interesting. But yeah, I forgot that the Punisher was a Vietnam vet, but like I had speculated because I had not for this, but I was thinking about talking about wars. I was thinking about Captain America was something I discussed, and I had kind of posited to people how interesting it would be if they ever did like an alternate interpretation of Captain America, where he became the super soldier in another war, like he's younger, like so, like he became, his sort of his story either starts in like Korea or Vietnam or Afghanistan or something like that, or the Gulf War, like just so you
They
could.
toyed around with that idea when they were first making Captain America first Avenger, because of the distance between the World War II and the modern wars now.
Yeah.
But because of the fact that he was frozen for so long, and they could alter that, and World War II is such a huge part of his DNA, they decided against it. But if you look at Marvel Ultimates, the entire line of all the Ultimate is them trying to all the monsters and mutants and everything that they create, I believe, was because the government, Shield and Ultimate, they were trying to recreate the super soldier serum, and because they couldn't find Captain America because he had been lost in war. And then when Captain America comes back and leads the Ultimates, that's when they stopped that program.
Oh, okay, because I had started reading Ultimate Spider-Man, and I'm familiar with some of the stuff that happens with like the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, but not much else.
Yeah, it was. Right. I really liked the Ultimate run because it just allowed them to do some things.
Just being able to kind of reinterpret it for a modern audience of the time, I thought was a cool idea. I think just having that just to keep it a little bit fresh was interesting.
No, I didn't go to the store to get it. I went right over here to G.I. Joe headquarters to go get the stuff because I'm going to give you a little bit. I'm going to give you a little bit of this. So yes, the Crawling Chaos. I will say this: my two favorite G.I. Joes of all times, Flint and Snake Eyes.
Of course, the Michigan guy likes Flint. Of course,
Flint comes with the shotgun.
Yeah, of course. So I'm gonna give you a little history here. Okay, first of all, you mentioned Larry Hama. I've heard that it might be possible. I've never seen anything to say for sure that Tunnel Rat was based on Larry Hama, but Tunnel did he say that?
Yeah.
But Tunnel Rat wasn't even in. He was only in one thing.
I wow, because it was for this was
Tunnel
a long
Rat,
time ago.
Tunnel Rat is literally only in G.I. Joe the movie. By the way, that DL, you guys should go all check out DL's G.I. Joe the movie. He's actually going over all the G.I. Joe movies, but he went over the cartoon, and the only thing that Tunnel Rat is in at all is G.I. Joe the movie, the cartoon movie, and so that's Tunnel Rat right there.
I hear Tunnel Rat, and I think of like what is it for those familiar with the work of Michael Connelly? I just cracked into the novel The Black Echo, and so for those familiar with the story, that's what I think of when I think of Tunnel Rat.
And I'll just be honest with you, he doesn't look anything like Larry Hama to me, but okay.
Oh, young Larry Hama, yeah, he does. Pull that back up. Look at Larry Hama now. He's in his 70s now. But
I don't think he looked like Larry Hama then, though.
Oh yeah.
I can see it. But
that looks like a Vietnam era.
So this right here is Leatherneck. And Leatherneck looked like a guy. He was a Marine, and he looked apparently just like a guy.
He looks like if Luigi was a G.I. Joe.
Hey, that's the Jarhead hat. Come on now.
Right, but so this guy was based on
the mustache and the green.
This guy was based on one of the guys who made the figures.
Yeah.
Okay, at Hasbro. Now I'm going to show you something. So here, there's a couple different things. Sergeant Slaughter was first offered as a mail-away figure, okay? And you can get a little bit of this history in the PLW action figure wrestling if you look it up. There's a playlist right here on the channel that you can find this because I go through this a little bit. This was the original one, okay? That had the USA on there because it looked just like his wrestling action figure, right? And so that's what he looked like, but he had G.I. Joe, right? And you could send away proofs of purchase and get him. Now, then they released him with his Triple T tank, okay? And when they did that, this was the more common Sergeant Slaughter that you got, and what was seen mostly in the cartoon, because this is what everybody got. I mean, this came with a tank called the Triple T tank. They never really explained why, but that was the second one. Now later on, they put this little strike force together or whatever that he was. It was Sergeant Slaughter's Marauders, and they gave him this ridiculous outfit because that was their colors.
G.I. Joe figures are starting to hurt for me.
Yeah. Well, look at his. I mean, his glasses being blue.
Did he get it back after a stealth mission to assassinate what's his face there, Richard Simmons?
I don't know, man.
Doesn't that look like a
but like
Richard Simmons onesie?
everyone on his team though had this color scheme, this blue that was put in there. Now,
that's awful.
It is bad. It is bad. Okay, so here's the figure that you were talking about.
PE Coach Slaughter.
Here's the figure that you were talking about, and that is William the Refrigerator Perry.
The fridge.
And he has this thing, this football, which is like supposed to be a metal football on like a rope that he could swing around and hit people with. And I actually got a good one because like you can see still like the GI Joe logo on his belt buckle there, which usually rubs off that silver stuff like that. But he never appeared in anything. Never a cartoon.
You know why that came out, right? Well, you remember the year that they came out?
Yep, and that's what I'm just about to get to. Because do you know why they picked William the Refrigerator Perry? Here's why. Well, before I tell you that, I'll show you. This is the Storm Shadow where he joined.
It's like camo, like urban camo or winter camo.
And you see his tattoo there.
Oh, they do have the Ashitakaga symbol throughout the film.
And so
that's actually in the movie poster.
So this is what Snake Eyes looked like when he first came out. He was just a commando guy.
Yep,
that's all he came with. That's all he came out. He had goggles because it was covering up his face because he had been horribly disfigured.
He didn't even come with the dog at that point. He didn't
come with Timber at that time. His wolf. This was the second one, which is Commando Snake Eyes. This is the traditional one that everybody recognizes because this was the most popular Snake Eyes out of all of them, and still to this day is the most expensive one to actually get. That's that. And then this was version 3. Now, I've got like 8 versions of Snake Eyes, okay? I'm not going to pull them all out. But this was version 3. This was the 80s ones. This was version 3. You can see by the time they got to this version...
Ooh, that's horrible.
Yeah, it is pretty bad. But you can see by the time they got to this one, they're full-on ninja-ing it up, right? I mean, like, they're playing up the fact that he's a ninja.
Oh, okay.
You know, like, his backpack has changed, you know, all that stuff. Now, what they did was... They had a character named a Cobra figure. Where is he? Cobra figure named Big Boa. And hold on a second. I can find him right here. He's right here. So they had a Cobra figure named Big Boa that they released, and this might give you a little hint as to who they were trying to bring in. So right there is this character named Big Boa.
Oh, Mike Tyson?
He was supposed to be the trainer for Cobra. Okay? Notice what he's got there.
Got boxing gloves.
Got some boxing gloves, right?
What year was this released?
This was about, I think, 87?
Polo Guana's comment. Thank God Enosh wears pants when he.
Oh, Big Boa, duh.
Yep. So this is Big Boa. Who do you think they were trying to get to?
The name just gave it away. Balboa. Big Boa.
They were going to literally introduce.
Are you kidding me?
Rocky Balboa into G.I. Joe.
So
the problem was
Rocky Balboa.
Yes. The problem was this.
Lord.
This is how they got to Sergeant Slaughter, actually. Because Sergeant Slaughter became their drill sergeant because Rocky Balboa was going to turn into their drill sergeant. Okay? Now, here's the problem with that. The figure that they made, who do you think it looked like?
John Travolta.
No. You remember who it is? It's Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone. So if you make an army guy out of Sylvester Stallone, who is he?
John Rambo.
He looks just like John Rambo.
Oh.
And guess what? There was already a figure line out of Rambo. The Force
you had a
of
cartoon
Freedom.
on that era. You had a cartoon on that year.
You had a cartoon.
I can't believe they gave John Rambo a children's cartoon out of First Blood.
I know.
Wow.
But the thing is so they could not get the rights to the image. There's literally paperwork that you can find online that has his bio, says what his skills are and everything, shows everything about him. Get these guys out of the way here.
Oh my goodness!
Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
Figures.
Rocky.
I'm looking at it right now.
Rocky GI Joe. Yeah, Rocky GI Joe. Oh yeah, there's plenty of stuff, and it's like absolutely. I'll show you exactly what he was going to look like here. Oops.
Oh, this is awful, dude.
It's really bad.
He comes with a bag. He has a little punching bag.
Who, Big Boa?
Those little punching bags you stand up and hit?
Well, that's Big Boa. Big Boa comes with a punching bag. Rocky was not going to. Rocky, but because they never got to that with Rocky. So let me show you what Rocky was all about.
There's a female version of him too. Oh, that's nice.
What he looked at like. It was this right here. His file name, Rocky Balboa. Primary military specialty, personal combat instructor. Secondary military specialty, special services. Birthplace, Philadelphia, PA. Okay. Grade E5, enlisted reserves. How does a well-known boxing champion serve out his reserve time? He can take the easy route, be a showpiece for special services, giving exhibition bouts and racking up brownie points for officers with no combat ribbons and shiny trouser bottoms, or he can take a secret posting to train the G.I. Joe team in the finer points of the sweet science of pugilism. The assignment to the Joe team would be strictly under the counter, no special pay, no extra privileges, and no publicity. All he would get would be the satisfaction of doing something for his country. Excerpt of memo from Brigadier General Abernathy, which is General Hawk. General Hawk says he's one of the best there is with his fists, and nobody can touch him with pugil sticks. But that's not the reason I want him training the Joes. Anybody can teach technique. I want the Joes to see what it is to take a beating and come back fighting, to stand up and take everything the other guys got to give and give back a full measure. That's worth more than a tip on how to perfect your right hook.
How awful.
Oh, you guys want to see Duke? Okay, hold on a second. I'll get you a Duke.
Yes.
But yeah,
Shree's just heading out. So ciao.
That's what it is. So hold on a second. I'll go get Duke. I gotta get back here.
But goodness gracious, put camo paint on and put a knife in his mouth, and I can see it. Okay.
This was a bad year, by the way. 1987, for my opinion, was a horrible year for G.I. Joe figures. That's from that next 3 years, it just declined. They started doing some really goofy things.
Yeah, I remember watching the Toys That Made Us episode on that. It was really kind of strange, some of the stuff, because they were going ham with some of the later lines from what I can remember.
Oh my goodness! I just put a picture of a custom figure in the our Twitter private chat, so take a look at how bad this could have ended up being.
Oh, like our big DM?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Got it here. It's
yeah. This was about. I'll see if Enos can share it. Woo! Because the height of G.I. Joe quality-wise was from 1982 to 1986. After 1986, they started doing some really stupid. After the G.I. Joe movie with the whole Cobra Law thing, that ruined G.I. Joe for me.
Oh god,
Cobra Law thing?
Yeah.
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 Oh, in the G.I. Joe movie, they introduced a clan of reptile people that started Cobra, apparently.
Oh, David Icke started up?
No. You know what? But Serpentor, the height that they reached their climax with was Serpentor. Once the Serpentor storyline was over, that was in '85, and then like a couple years after that, the Crimson Guard came out. But like 1987, it was like, oh my goodness, it went so commercial to the point where they were doing Space Force. I mean, it was awful. And now you see, I didn't realize how bad it was. I didn't know about this character. Oh,
Rocky Balboa and G.I. Joe. We had the Fridge, which was already interesting.
Well, they released the Fridge because at the time, the Chicago Bears were like America's team, and they had just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, of course. It was of course a Dub Bears. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard to beat those guys, but like.
And then Sergeant Slaughter, I remember they brought him in the comics, and I'm like, dude, my dad was pissed. He wouldn't even let me buy it. He wouldn't let me get that figure.
Sergeant Slaughter?
Yeah.
Why?
because I come from 3 generations of military family, and we don't believe in phonies. That's what Sergeant Slaughter was.
Gotcha.
You know, my dad was in the Vietnam era. My grandfather was World War II, and I've served my war. So he's like, he forbid me from getting one because it was based on a character who was posing as a soldier.
But like was he like that with movies and TV shows too though?
No, because we were. It was for some reason it was Sergeant Slaughter. As soon as it was,
You know what else helps? You know what else helps? I think it also helps the fact that even though kind of it was, collectively known that wrestling was fake, they hadn't broken kayfabe, and they really wouldn't in WWE till what, 96?
True.
So
when
you've got them posing, when you've got effectively presenting themselves that these are not characters, these are who they are, up to 11 as wrestlers tend to be. I can see exactly why your father and grandfather may very well have been offended by someone like Sergeant Slaughter. If it was a character, I think it would have been a different situation.
Yeah, he claimed.
So here is my original Duke.
Very cool.
What kind of gun is that? Turn it sideways.
It's not like an M16, is it?
No, it's one of those guns that you use. We called it a grease gun in the Army. It's usually
it does look like a grease gun, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's what tankers use because you can actually mount that bad boy on a tank. The tank has a built-in section for it. Yeah.
So that's that, and then I'll just show you my favorite guy.
Oh man,
that's cool.
And he did not look like that in the show.
Yeah, he did.
Not really. The shirt wasn't black. He had a brown shirt, didn't he?
No, his shirt. No, dude, his shirt was black. And
in the cartoon, you see? Are you?
Yeah.
Years.
Yeah, his shirt was black in the cartoon, and I love this. I got the updated version.
No, in the cartoon.
No, I know. No, in the cartoon, his shirt was black.
The updated version looks
Yeah,
it's been 30 years.
He didn't wear a black shirt. He wore a brown shirt. Like I
just swore he wore a green or a brown shirt.
Sonic's arms aren't
No, he wore a black shirt. He wore a black
blue,
shirt.
They're tan.
God, that hardcore. It's like it's just a shirt.
Oh, I'm looking at one of these awful. No, he wore a green shirt. I was right. He wore a green shirt.
You also have people flipping out about Sonic's arms changing from tan to blue. So here we are.
Like,
well, no,
because
I'm
a big Sonic fan, and I don't care about that.
Nah, yeah, I'm looking at this right now. He was a green shirt in
the cartoon.
Yeah, it was a green shirt in the cartoon.
Okay.
Hold on, we're gonna go back.
I remember those, and knowing's half the battle. I'm looking at one of those things right now because that was one of the coolest things. When I bought the figure, I instantly saw that he had a different. The figure looks cooler than the show.
Oh, let's see.
Yeah, you guys. And he's wearing the beret wrong.
Right. No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, he's wearing the beret wrong in the cartoon.
Right.
He's wearing it right in the figure. The figure.
Nope, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. He did have a green shirt.
Was he wearing it backwards in the cartoon?
No, when you wear your beret, you see the emblem that he has on. Hey, Enoch, hold up that figure again.
It's always on the left-hand side, right?
Yeah, but so look, hold it up and put it close to the screen.
Yeah, so the emblem's always there, but I'm
you
guessing
see where his eye is.
Yeah.
And the emblem goes right. It always goes right in line with your eye.
Oh, okay.
And then you tilt to the left like that, but your emblem's going. If you look at the cartoon, he's almost on his side of his head because they didn't really care.
Oh.
And he looks like Donald Duck. He looks like the old Donald Duck cartoon. But yeah, it's Flint was my favorite character, man. Flint was my favorite character.
Well, I think with animation too, it's probably hard to get some. I mean, because like I'm looking at here. Like a couple of these things. Like,
well,
if you look at
the difference between the comic and the cartoon is the cartoon did not have military consultants. The comic did. Larry Hama was the military consultant.
I mean, here though his
there is right, but look at.
But I mean, and like down here, it's lined up with his eye. I mean, I'm seeing it actually line up with his eye quite a bit. But I'm sure, like as that like
right there. That one's one of the worst depictions right there.
Oh wow, it's like almost
it's almost. And then when you would watch the cartoon, you would see that over and over again. But you had and it's just a difference. But it was a cartoon, so we took it as what it was. It's not as bad as like when Stargate. When I watched Stargate, and the military uniforms were so bad, I actually wrote into the show. I actually wrote into Stargate when I first saw the first episode of SG-1. I wrote in the Stargate, they fire your military person or hire one. You either don't have one or you have one that needs to be fired right now.
Did they wind up fixing it at all? It's been a long time.
They fixed it in the second episode. Watch Stargate SG-1. There's a guy, a major.
It's been a long time since I've seen SG-1, but yeah.
Yeah, there's a major wearing Master Sergeant stripes and the gold oak leaves. I almost threw up what I was eating.
This is the classified. This is the classified one. I've got 2 of him, and I'm going to open one and do a review.
Because the gold oak leaves were which rank again, William?
What was that?
The gold oak leaves are which rank?
Those are major.
Those are.
Yeah. 04, yeah. Yeah, and if you look at the very first episode, it was on Showtime at the time. It had a decent budget, and they just blew it.
So that's actually Henry Cavill. See, I started turning off the lights in here because I was trying to make a mood.
Cyborg, though.
I was trying to make a mood but that is Injustice Cyborg and R2D2. But yes,
hey, Enosh, check the chat. Check our private chat. I sent something in there for you.
Oh, okay.
The one. Yeah.
Private chat.
The one, the group chat.
On Twitter. Okay, let me check on Twitter.
Oh yeah, I do like that.
Nice,
Master
nice.
Master Jedi Wanderer had the Shadow Borg, yeah, from Beetleborg.
And you know what's funny? You know what's funny with that? All they basically did was I could show that to everybody. But all they basically did was take a Sergeant Slaughter. They took a Sergeant Slaughter along with with Big Boa's
gloves,
and then they just painted it, and they used somebody. I'm trying. It's hard because it's a little blurry, so I'm having a hard time seeing like who they used for the head. But that's Sergeant Slaughter's body. I mean, he's got the whistle and everything. I just showed you guys that he's got the whistle and everything. So, yeah. But they had, when they didn't get him, they went with Sergeant Slaughter. Is who they went with.
Yeah, Flint, man. Flint was my favorite character in the show too. He's my favorite one in the comic and the show.
But see, guys, that's why that's why I'm so passionate about this, because like so much of my life is wrapped up in this stuff. You know what I mean? But I mean, like that's the things, like the stuff that I really, really love. Like I got into the lore, man. I knew all these things about these people, and so you know, for me, it's not this nitpicky thing, right? Like when I hear Jeremy going, you know, from Geeks and Gamers going on about something or whatever, and he's like, you know, complaining that the Emperor is a clone in the Rise of Skywalker. Well, the Rise of Skywalker's got plenty of problems. The Emperor being a clone is not one of them.
No, that's actually Dark Empire.
Yeah, that's Dark Empire. But like he's sitting there griping and complaining about it. You know, and I told it to him to his face when he was here, and he really didn't have any answer for it. Is that like when you complain about something and you're just like, well, I don't like this. Well, okay, but it's backed up by something. You guys are all complaining that they're not using any of the comics or any of the books before. When they start actually using that stuff, you guys are still complaining. So which is it?
Yeah.
You know, and so like with that particular thing, for example, you know, like he's even gone on record saying, well, I don't know much about the EU. Well, then don't comment on it.
Yeah, that's big. And the funny thing about it is, before they got rid of the EU, the reason why Emperor Palpatine has the clones in Dark Empire is because the dark energy burns out his body, because he's not a true Sith Lord. He's actually an imposter. He's garbage. If you go back and
Dark
look up
Empire, yeah,
look up Exar Kun and all like the true Sith Lords, that was the real deal. All the Emperor Palpatine was basically a grave robber who came on information and certain people who knew at the tail end of it, but he never mastered what the true Sith Lords could do, because the true Sith Lords could use the type of power that he could use without burning out their body, and he had to keep cloning his body. And that's why when you look at episode 3, you see when his energy is directed back on him and what it does, and that was because he was using all of his energy at once, and it was he couldn't contain it.
And
but
plus it also helps to the fact that, you know, that Lucas never referenced, or at least very kind of picked and chose legends as he saw fit. It was very rare that he ever brought something in, and there was stuff in Legends that he actually out and out said he didn't like.
Yeah, he uses a holocron. Remember the holocron got cut out of Attack of the Clones.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be in there.
And look, you know, I mean, like
we could go down that rabbit hole for hours.
Oh my goodness! But Timothy Zahn, you know, created Coruscant.
Yep.
And Coruscant was not part of anything until
until Timothy
Zahn made Coruscant for his Thrawn trilogy.
Yeah.
And then, George liked that. And George always had an idea for a central
planet anyway.
system planet, city like planet, but it wasn't called Coruscant. It was actually called something else. I can't remember what it was called right now.
It's called Empire City. Because it's something like that. It was called.
The planet,
Empire, it was called
itself.
Empire City, and then something else.
But the planet
you know
itself,
what else he got from the extended the extended universe? I'm sorry, but the double bladed lightsaber appeared in the
because of Exar Kun,
comics in the books before 5 years before Darth Maul ever had it. Exar Kun created one right in the comics.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's what I say. Like when you guys hear me talk about stuff, like I know maybe not everybody likes what I have to say, but at least understand this. At least know that when I do say something, it's not just me like picking my butt, right? Like
when it's a religion, you know it. I mean, there's nothing know it.
And like I've had people tell me before, because I bring up that very fact, William. I'm like, okay, look, people know that my faith plays a huge part in my life, right? Well, I look at this other stuff that I love very similar to that, like that. It's like this is who I am, right? When it's who you are, like it's different than just, well, I know a couple things about this and I like it. Like that's why, like when we watch Masters of the Universe this weekend, for example, I'm sitting here going into the deep lore of this, going, my God, Kevin Smith, man, he dug deep into this, man. This is like a deep dive.
Did you watch his show today?
No.
His show, he did a live stream today with the guy who did Orko.
Yes.
And he's talking about all this. His live stream today was awesome. If you get a chance, another hour and a half to 2 hours or so, and you're like, watch Fat Man and Beyond today. Or
okay.
I watched it.
I will, because I'm telling you what, that guy right there, all this griping, all this complaining, all this saying, well, they didn't do this right, they didn't,
he addressed it all, and
this thing about he lied to us about He-Man being the main character. First of all, He-Man, I said it last night. We did a whole episode about it, but I will end tonight by saying this: that show, He-Man, is relevant through the entire 5 episodes. He is the central focus of that show. It shows, it even goes as far as to show the emptiness when he's not there. And how his lack of presence is felt.
I made a comparison, because you can speak to this because you've seen both.
Mm-hmm.
The way I've heard it described to me is kind of like how the Republic and the First Order and everybody are all looking for Luke in The Force Awakens. That's how it kind of is described to me. It's how it's kind of
or Justice League. It's a Superman.
How about Superman?
Arc. Yeah, but he's not in the movie until he's resurrected.
Yeah. So, but the thing is that like He-Man's all through it. They reference him. They do flashbacks to him. He's definitely felt throughout the entire thing. Is Tila important to the story? Absolutely. Does Tila have a major part of the story? Yes.
It was a great thing. Oh, and he gave up spoilers, by the way.
Absolutely.
Orko's not dead.
I didn't think so. I didn't think so. Oh,
it was so funny because he's like,
I cried.
Mattel would let me kill Orko. Come on.
I binged it twice on Friday. It was so good.
Dude. I can't wait to watch it.
I binged it twice on Friday because I couldn't wait to get home to watch it. So I had some just some regular stuff to do in my office on Friday, like putting stuff together, and I had to restring a guitar and stuff like that. So like I just put it on my computer here, and I just watched it while I was stringing up my guitar and everything, and I was just like, "You got to be kidding me! This is amazing!" And then I came home and I was telling Tiffany about it, and I was just like, "I got to talk about this tonight." And so I said, "Look," and she's like, "Well, you don't have to watch it again." I'm like, "No, I want to watch it again. Let's watch it again." And I swear to God, I cried. The Orko thing, Tiffany was talking to me about it tonight before we went on the air, and I was getting ready to come downstairs, and she goes, she's all she's doing is talking about how his name was Oracle, but when he was a baby, he could only say Orko, and that's why he was called Orko, and his parents were disappointed in him and everything, and he's sitting there literally holding back scare glow and saying, "It's all right, Tila, he can't scare me anymore." I swear to God, if you don't get anything out of that, 1, you're not a fan. 2, if you claim to be a fan, you got no heart. Because I swear to God,
I know nothing about
there was so much, and that's the thing. Maybe you just don't know, right? You know what I mean? But I mean, I'm just telling you, as a fan, I felt so much from that. I felt more than I felt with the 2000 X reboot. because it's not meant to just be a
That was fanfare.
yeah, it's not just meant to be like a new series where it's like He-Man comes out every day and beats the bad guy and it's done, you know, and whatnot. Like, it's not meant to do that. It's meant to, it's a 5-part thing for part 1. You know what I mean? And then then we're getting more, and it's like, this is meant to be a story arc. And people are like, well, they killed He-Man and then they killed him again and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, you're missing the point
watch that
altogether.
stream, dude. He's speaking to you right now on that stream, and he says there's an epic battle in episode 7 between Skeletor, and he says it's a mind-blowing battle. He said it's the most mind-blowing battle he's ever seen in animation. And you watch the stream. So it's I have some problems with it. Like I said, I still liked it. I just didn't like the way it flowed especially in that first half. I just thought they just jammed too much in, and they paced it like I was watching a 1980s cartoon. But they gave me the storyline that I appreciate as a grown-ass man. They gave me the evolution that I expect for it. So that part was fine. I just didn't like the way it was.
Well, and like I told you last night, like, I can handle criticism like that. I can handle criticism like that. Polaquan, I will say this: I was never a Power Rangers fan.
I was. I know DL is. So that's why I'm asking the question.
The first couple of seasons I watched it, it was ridiculously fun. You know, Rita Raposa and the toys.
But why? But why was I not? Why was I not? I'm gonna take you back a little bit because of these guys right here. That's why. Because I looked at Power. I looked at Power Rangers.
Oh, you can go to Voltron for that too. You can make.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Well, I know, but this is what I grew up with was Voltron.
Oh, I understand why a lot of people. I know a lot of people in the West probably thought Voltron or Power Rangers was a ripoff of Voltron. Taking into consideration, taking into consideration the stories that inspired Power Rangers started back. What was it? You could speak to this. Was it 19? Was it 70? Was it 71? 65?
Well, you had a lot of stuff that.
And when did Go Rangers come out?
76.
70. Yes, probably 76.
76.
See, this was a misnomer. 187. This was such a misnomer. Right?
Go Ranger
so for example, so for 187. Oh, okay. 187, can I ask you, I don't know if you're a Star Trek fan or not, but are you a Star Trek fan? Because if you're a Star Trek fan, if somebody told you, well, Spock dies in Wrath of Khan, right? Well, if somebody just told you that and you had never seen anything else and you didn't know what was coming or whatever, you didn't know anything else that happened, a lot of fans would just be ticked, right? But what did Spock do in there? Spock sacrificed himself to save everyone, right? Spock literally did the most noble. Literally did the most noble thing that he could possibly do. But here's the thing. But here's the thing. 187. If you know, okay, this is another reason why, like when they killed Superman in BVS, right? It's touching. It's touching to me. But was I pissed off that they killed Superman? No, because I knew it wasn't the end of his story. I knew. And this is the thing. This is where I go back to. People need to stick with something and hear the whole story. I've seen reports. I've seen reports of people who say, well, I saw that first episode and I saw what happened and I turned it off and I refuse to watch anymore. Well, then that's on you. Because that's like saying, well, I read Superman 75 and Superman dies, and I'm never reading another comic book ever again because Superman died. Well, what do you think is going to happen? Like, do you think that they're going to destroy their great? Yes, sir.
I will say though, and I do agree with you. Though I will say, as someone who is, very casual when it comes to Masters of the Universe, when they killed him a second time and said there was a possibility that he won't come back from that, me as a casual, I'm like, okay, that's really strange. They would go.
He didn't die though.
Direction.
He was wounded. He got stabbed. He was definitely wounded.
Where he got stabbed, you clearly see that he's going to live. Another problem I have is
I can't wait to watch this show now. I really can't.
Orko's death didn't mean anything to me in the context of the loss that I think that he
Shifty-gism. This is a completely different complaint though, because I can actually give people this, right? That like, if you're going with continuity's sake, I was just happy when I saw Doomsday in the thing that they actually killed him, right? Because like I didn't feel like they should bring in Doomsday if they weren't going to kill him. But I totally understand this thinking, right? I totally understand this thing. But see, like this
Yeah,
show
I-
is this show is not a reboot. This show is not like he became He-Man and like he had been He-Man for a couple of weeks and all of a sudden Teela's coming in to be He-Man now. Like that is not what the show is about at all.
It's a continuation.
It's completely different. Like everybody complaining that it's like all Teela and everything. Well, here's the thing. They had an opportunity if they wanted to where Teela could have taken the power sword and literally called down the power and saved Grayskull, but she wasn't the one who did it. They had He-Man do it. It wasn't her. She never tried to be He-Man. She never tried to take his place. She didn't try to take his place as the warrior, as the hero, as anything. She literally left everything and went off to like be like a quantum leap town to town, putting right and finding Indiana Jones stuff, man. Like that's what she did. And so like I don't know, man. Like when I hear people like going on, well, it's just woman. Like what? Like that's not even who she is.
And I'm just going to answer Domain quick. It's unrelated, but it's related to Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Power Rangers.
MMPR obviously started in what, 93, right, DL?
Yes.
Yeah, but also for those who don't know, Power Rangers actually was adapted from a series of Japanese superhero series called Super Sentai, which go all the way back to 1975.
See, that's why I didn't like it, because I watched that literally at 4 a.m. one night on TBS because they showed it. And I was like, "Oh, what's this? This looks a lot like live action Voltron from Japan, right?" Like I watched it. I watched the entire thing. 6 months later, I kid you not, I lie to you not. 6 months later, the show came out of Power Rangers, and I was like, "Well, wait a second. I just saw this like 6 months ago, like at 4 a.m, watching it when I was a kid. Like I was like, wait a second, what are they doing here?" And I just like it just was what it was. Angie, you know what? I totally respect Power Ranger fans. Actually, I completely respect Power Ranger fans because I get why you like it, right? And I get why you like it, and I totally
exactly. It's just something that he didn't grow up with, and he grew up with Voltron, and obviously that had its influence from like stuff like
Polo Quan. I'll say this about this too. Like, here's the thing: everybody who passes, because I saw people who were complaining, Mossman, and Orko, and everybody who passes, like. Do you notice they all pass with a hero's death? All of them. Not one of them just gets like taken out like whoops, right? Or just like
Private Ryan, where you just get wiped out on the beach.
Yeah, like they're all treated to like it's so respectful. It's so I mean, to a character like Mossman, for God's sake, it's respectful. And then you get to see him in Preternia. Oh my gosh! I just the feels, the feels, man. It just and see, I don't know. I'm
too jaded. I'm too jaded.
It was a sacrifice. Well. I didn't feel that the editing made it feel like a death. I felt like it showed that he was saving his friends and allowing them to get away. I mean, that was like.
Well, I thought it was.
I'm just laughing at Andrew's comment.
You didn't feel like it was a sacrifice, like he was.
I thought it was both. I felt like it was both, but I wasn't. I didn't. The credibility of people dying in the show up to that point really meant nothing to me because I figured it was all narratively done, which is fine. But I just didn't. There were moments in there that I thought I was supposed to feel a little bit more for it, but I just didn't. And I thought that, but that didn't kill the show for me because, like I said, I'm jaded. I come from the world of fake comic book deaths. Where the only person that stayed dead was Captain Marvel.
Well, I'm telling you right now, after you've watched this, watch it through a second time. Because the second time when you're not waiting to see what happens next, but now you're really I always find that the second time I watch something is when I really like have a good handle on what it is. Because the first time you watch something, even if you're excited about it, like you're just overly hyped, right? And you miss things and you're just like into it and stuff and you get the gist of it. But man, that second time you watch it, where now all those nerves are calm and you're just like, instead of anticipating everything that's going to happen, now you're just like able to sit back and just ingest it and take it in. Yeah, you analyze it.
It's like Last Jedi was for me. Like, it's kind of because I walked into that movie. They called that movie everything but a child of God. And then I went in, and so
I get you.
I had expectations from all sides, and then eventually having to be able to sit down with it and think about it is just like, oh, and now I understand it from my own perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I hear some of the stuff, and I was watching Kevin Smith's stream today, and some of the things that he's dealing with, and the way he's taking it, if you are ever somebody who's created something and you have the kind of criticism thrown at you that he is, this is textbook of how you handle things. His demeanor and how he's handling the criticism was worth the time I spent watching this live stream today.
Well, I'm gonna talk about it a bit. That's here on
Talk about it a
YouTube.
bit when we go.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's the latest episode of Fat Man and Beyond, and he's sitting there talking with the guy who does the voice for Oko. He's his guest, and he's just going up and down his rationale. He's hitting every criticism, and he's not calling the people who criticism idiots. He's just, this is where I came from, and this is where I'm a fan. And then he would bring up something where people say, well, you're this, and that. And then he would go back to the history of the preference that this is what I'm basing it on. I'm a fan of this show, so it's a good stream. And like I said, I wish everybody who dealt with kind of the criticism of things that they created could handle it in that way.
Here's somebody. I'm unsubscribing from this person right now. I won't say who it is, but I've been subscribed to this person. This person's actually been somebody like who's part of the fandom menace, but I've enjoyed their takes on many a thing. And like when you come up with a Kevin Smith as a liar and possibly a hack,
he dealt with that too.
That's all clickbait right
there. That's uncalled for.
That's uncalled for. That's rude. And if you watch this series, if you have been a fan of this at all, and you know the history, like I can see where they're going with this. I know exactly what Teela's story is. I know exactly where they're going with Teela. People are like, they're going to turn her into the new champion to be the new He-Man. No, they're not. No, she is going to replace somebody, but it's because it's her birthright. It's that they talked about in the original cartoons. And look, last night was a spoiler thing, so I'm not going to get into too many spoilers. But here's the thing where DC Talk, I don't think it's going to be She-Ra. I did see your comment earlier about it being about She-Ra.
The rights. I don't think they can.
Yeah, they don't have the rights to She-Ra, to bring She-Ra in. But you know what? Somebody is going to heal Adam, and they're going to sacrifice something to do it. And you know what that's going to cause? That's going to cause, I believe, the rise of Teela to her rightful place that they talked about absolutely in the original series. It was one of the only leftover things from the original cartoon that was never addressed because she doesn't know. All I will tell you in this is if you watch this, remember this. If you watch each episode, there's something that each and every like all these different people in the episodes keep trying to tell her something. Duncan tries to tell her something. There's something you got to remember about this. Duncan is not her real father. Okay, Duncan took her in and raised her as his own, and he feels like it's his daughter because he loved the woman that who Teela's mother is. Teela never knew her mother. Never knew her mother, but her mother was revealed in the original cartoon, and we know that, and it showed how Duncan got her. And the thing is that. That's what Duncan tries to tell her, Man-at-Arms. I saw people complaining, they called her Man-at-Arms. See, that's just that. It's a title. It's a position in the Royal Army. His name was not Man-at-Arms. His name was Duncan. She was taking her father's role, which is something they always talked about would be the next progression for the character one day. This is that day. This is literally the future of that world. And so this was her taking her position, but that's not going to be her position, folks, because it has to do with her mother and that position, that role. And that's why they keep saying, well, there's something we need to tell you, Teela. I don't have time for that. Keeps getting cut off, keeps getting pushed aside. Right. And I saw a lot of people going like, I wonder what that is. That's the revelation. That's right there why this show is called Revelation. And I see exactly what Kevin Smith is doing. The revelation has nothing to do with He-Man. I'll give you that. The revelation part. The revelation has nothing to do with He-Man.
The reason I thought Revelation was there's a reason I thought of that. What was the original title of Masters of the Universe Revelation?
I don't know.
End of the Universe.
Oh.
Now, considering our faith, when you think of Revelation, I think of the end times.
Yeah.
I think about how it's described in Scripture and the way that everything kind of devolves in that way. And so when Kevin Smith described it as end of the universe, from at least my perspective as a person of faith, that was what I thought of. I'm like, oh, so it's going to be like a sort of a Revelation, end times, Ragnarok kind of story.
Yep. But see, yeah, you guys, absolutely. Who her mother is, and somebody already nailed it in the chat. You could go back and watch my episode last night where we got into spoilers about it. I didn't hold back at all yesterday with my spoiler.
And that's why I didn't. That's the only reason I didn't
with my
come on
spoiler
stream.
discussion. I dove deep into it, and I explained to you exactly what's happening with this, and this is why it's brilliant. And William, I'm going to absolutely go and watch that thing, because Kevin Smith, I don't care what any of these people say. I don't care who comes at me with this. Kevin nailed this thing. This was literally on point. And if you're a casual fan or you don't know, that's fine. But like, what I have a problem with is these people making these videos out and saying that he's a liar, that he doesn't know anything about these characters, that he ruined He-Man, that it's She-Man now, that it's like no. That right there is somebody trying to sell you a line. That right there is somebody trying to be something to you that's not cool. But yeah, Bradley, I'm telling you right now, that's what this is all about. That's why it is. But it's a He-Man story at its core, because it tells the story of like what happens to the world of He-Man with He-Man there. What are the champions that have come, that have defended Grayskull? Why have they been important? And who is it that protects Grayskull? Just saying. There's a reason. And you know who's going to be the winner in all this when it's all said and done? And going to be looking like the smart person, and who's going to be looking like absolute fools? The winner in all this is going to be Kevin Smith. Because Kevin Smith actually gets the lore, understands what happened. And
he gets the hands too. It's just so funny how he deals with this. And he's like, but I'm a liar. But he keeps referring to, when he's explaining these things, he's like, but don't believe me, I'm a liar. And but the way he, like I said, you'll love that stream, because it echoes a lot of what you're saying, but from his point of view, and he answers a lot of questions. And he's like, I didn't get into this business to be divisive or to piss anybody off, but it happens sometimes. And you know what? I mean, that's not why he made the movie. He's like, but he looks at some of his movies that he's done before and how they weren't received and they were trashed at the beginning. Mallrats. He brought up Mallrats as a perfect example of how some of this, when Mallrats came out after Clerks, it was trashed. And I remember it was trashed. And then 10 years later, it's revered as one of his classics. So
which is kind of nuts because I love, I love Mallrats so much.
A lot of people didn't, and I remember because they were holding him by a standard he had previously set, and they just didn't see it at the time. Now you bring up Mallrats to people who like Kevin Smith. It's part of his, it's part of his lore. But no, this He-Man thing, and it was just interesting when I watched it. Like I said, I saw flaws in it, but I still liked it. But I gained a little bit more momentum from me hearing him explain his frame of thought. And
That's awesome.
It's a good stream.
We do got to get closed up here because I got to be up in 2.5 hours. But here's the thing. I do want to say this. And Shiftingism, I will say this. Okay. As a kid who grew up in the church, so my grandmother, I was such a huge He-Man fan. And I had all the dress up stuff and everything. And I had all the toys. But my grandmother would literally not let me say, my grandma raised me. My grandma would not let me use the term by the power of Grayskull. If I said by the power of Grayskull, I would have to say it like under my breath, because my grandma would make me say by the power of Jesus, because Jesus was the only power. And so the satanic stuff. Now I will give it this. If you read some of those mini comics got pretty occultic. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and act like
Beastman looks like a devil himself.
I'm just saying, when like one of them, I'll never forget. One of them starts off with Skeletor floating in the lotus position with a crystal ball right in front of Castle Grayskull, summoning demons to try to take down the drawbridge. And dude, there's some things you can't deny. So like, I get why it scared all those guys back then, because they had no idea. My grandma didn't make me get rid of any stuff. I had Castle Grayskull. I got Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain right over here.
I got the slime pit.
Oh, I need to get a slime pit actually, but I got Castle Grayskull. I've got Snake Mountain right over here. But the thing is that when I had Castle Grayskull when I was a kid, it scared the living crap out of me. when I would turn the lights off at night, just it had a silhouette to it with light that came from my window, and I swear to God, it scared me so much. I took all my GI Joes and I sold them at a yard sale and ended up buying GI Joes. So there you go. But I still loved He-Man. But yeah, but it scared me. Like that's the only toy I think I ever had as a kid that actually just scared me. So I kind of understand because the imagery was I mean, look at Skeletor. That was the first time we ever got anything like that. We had never really got anything like that.
Yeah, disembodied skull head.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, nowadays we're used to seeing stuff like Darth Maul, right? It looks like the devil.
Yeah.
We didn't have all this stuff back then. But I sit there saying this to you, like literally, I got all my He-Man stuff right over here. I still from last night's stream, I got my Evil Lyn, the Evil Lyn that's Marge Simpson in cosplay. Which I never understood why she was yellow in the figure when she wasn't yellow on the TV show or anything else. And then of course I got Tila right there. So anyway, so everybody can have fun. Anyway, so that being said, DL, I think you're the only one who has a channel. So if anybody hasn't gone subscribed to DL, tell everybody what you're working on real quick, and tell them where your channel is.
Okay, so y'all can find me on YouTube at DL Vince, exactly how it's spelled right here. I talk about movies, I talk about shows, I talk about everything in the nerd and geek culture. So I recently, I'm talking about all the G.I. Joe films, and I'm going to do a review for Snake Eyes. The G.I. Joe animated movie review is already up, and Rise of Cobra review is already up. Retaliation should be up in a matter of hours.
You've been a big little dude, man. Damn.
Yeah. And there'll be some more Disney reviews with my girlfriend coming up soon. And
those are good, by the way. I listened to them the other day, man. Those are good. You guys have fun.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, there should be more DC and Marvel stuff and Star Wars in the near future. And so yeah, if you want to check out my take on stuff, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And Power Rangers forever.
Yeah, man. Well, by the way, Voltron wasn't the original color class type of thing. There was other stuff prior to that. Have you ever got a chance to watch like some of the King stuff that was back in the early 80s, late 70s?
No, not that.
No, not more than Enosh would have. Yeah, look at the history of Voltron. There's some cool stuff that preceded Voltron that's very interesting. There's at least two types of cartoon series, Japanese comic that preceded Voltron and that inspired Voltron. So it's weird to see how decades later, Voltron inspired Power Rangers. It's like 50 years of that type of storytelling.
Which one were you referencing?
Oh, I had it pulled up here for a while because I had actually a VHS. I'm gonna bring. I need to be able to share stuff with you on this thing one time because I was looking at my catalog here. I'll send it to the chat.
Yeah.
I'll send it to the chat. And also look up Macross if you haven't had a chance to watch Macross.
I hate Harmony Gold. I'd like to get that on record if that's all right. I'm not a fan of Harmony Gold. Tatsunoko, you're fine.
G-Force and what else were they called? It was called G-Force. Is that what that was called?
You had Gatchaman. You had Gatchaman, and you had I just had a Gatchaman was the first Americanized one. It was the first one that we had here in the States. And that was with Battle of the Planets. That was the first one. Like if they aired it.
Yeah, Battle of the Planets. That's what. Yeah,
it aired in 77, and then it aired in repeats here. Beast King, Go Lion was the original version of was the original inspiration for Voltron, and you had Armored Fleet, Delregger. So those were the two ones that preceded Voltron that were, and you can actually get those. You can get those here in Vegas too if you go to Chinatown. They have a video store. Yeah, they have video stores that exclusively. It's one of the reasons why I don't sell anime is because those guys can get the subtitle stuff, the good stuff, for way cheaper than I could ever touch it for. So I don't do any animation when it comes to that. But yeah, look up those two series. Those are what led to Voltron, and then Voltron led to a lot of different other things, and then Gatchaman. But Gatchaman was like third in line, though, if you look at it. But Battle of the Planets was the first time I had seen that type of animation here in America because it was the first time they aired it here.
And the reason, like I was saying, like the reason I was talking about getting kind of miffed about about Harmony Gold is because Macross, Southern Cross, and Mosquito, the 3 anime that wound up becoming BattleTech here, basically Harmony Gold, who are the localizers, have effectively, at least for several years, kept Macross, Southern Cross, and Mosquito from having a proper home media release over here, like Japanese with English subtitles or anything like that. They've had them in the past, but
Well,
basically,
you know why that
they're
happened,
limited.
right? Remember why that happened?
It was really strange. Why was it? I can't remember.
Well, the way I explained when I went to Comic-Con one year and they had a panel there, is they wanted to keep the stuff that they released there, and they cannibalized Macross and turned it into the entire Robotech series.
Yeah, that was a Robotech, excuse me, not BattleTech. I apologize.
Yeah, because BattleTech was a game that was separate, but
yes, way different.
Yeah, when you watch Macross was a self-contained movie, and then when they aired it here in America, they broke it up into Robotech, and it ended in the Sentinels and everything, which was great. But G-Force paved the way for all of that, even long before Voltron did.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, hey guys, I gotta get to bed, like I said. But hey, thank you guys. Thanks to everyone who was watching tonight. Thanks to everyone who was on the panel tonight. Thanks to everyone who gave super chats. Thanks to everyone who just watched, tuned in. We love you all. I appreciate you all. And I don't think I could say it as good as this guy right here. So I'm going to leave you today with this. But I will say, never let anybody tell you that your fandom doesn't matter. Don't tell somebody else that their fandom doesn't matter, but seek to have good conversations, even if it's in panels, even if you get heated or whatever, and you disagree on stuff. Make sure that when you leave, you at least leave with respect for each other and the fact that you're passionate about these things and you love these things together. Until next time, my name is Enosh. You guys stay nerdy. And here's Kermit to tell you how I feel.
I just want to thank you for being here and being my friend. It's always good to have someone you could count on. And I'm glad you're that for me.
We'll see you guys.